Happy holidays, the 12 days of dumbness. Jingle bells, Glenda smells, Polly's not okay. Wife's in jail, can't make bail, oh, and this guy, he got tased. Walking across the land with a camera in their hand. Because they have no job, post office they will stand. Harassing people too, for AdSense revenue. Acting like a jackwagon is all they'll ever do. Oh, jingle bells, conflict sells, now they're getting paid. They don't care about our rights, I hope they get pepper sprayed. Numbskulls in handcuffs and good window smashes. Morons arrested for all their trespasses. P. Barnes and his infamous in-court tasing. These are a few of my favorite things. When they misquote Poster 7, and it makes me mad. I just remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. On the first day of dumbness, Mike Gravelin gave to me Blendino without attorney. On the second day of dumbness, Regipol gave to me 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the third day of dumbness, Van Valen gave to me dumb UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the fourth day of dumbness, Artie gave to me 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK soft-sits, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 5th day of dumbness, Schrodinger gave to me 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK soft-sit, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 6th day of dumbness, Team Skeptic gave to me 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK soft-sit, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 7th day of dumbness, Vilified gave to me 7 sloppy smackings, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK soft-sit, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 8th day of dumbness, Familia gave to me douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smackings, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK soft-sit, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 9th day of dumbness, Unclean Hands gave to me 9 times the stupid douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smackings, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK soft-sit, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 10th day of Christmas, Dr. Dave gave to me 10 minutes wasted, 9 times the stupid douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smacking, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK soft-sit, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 11th day of dumbness, Kid Rocks gave to me best action ever, 10 minutes wasted, 9 times the stupid douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smackings, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 more rhymes. Dumb UK sops it. 2 tasty tasings and Blandino without attorney. On the 12th day of dumbness, Palmetto gave to me. No nonsense trooper, best action ever. 10 minutes wasted, 9 times the stupid douchebag in handcuffs. 7 sloppy smacking, 6 stupid Karens. 5 windows are smashed. 4 Moorish morons, dumbs, UK sops at 2 tasty tasings, and Blandino without attorney.
Hello, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Great to see y'all in the house once again. Yeah, let's see who we all have in the chat today. Number one, first one, News Now Enemy. What's up? Good to see ya. Terry Barnes, hello, welcome, good morning. Rise and shine with Hezokuai. I Kiss, rise and shine with Hezokuai. What's up, I Kiss? Hope you're doing good today. Enzo the God, what's up? Good afternoon. Enzo, have you ever heard of a pro wrestler named Enzo Amore? He used to be in a tag team, but they were great, but they had their problems. And now I don't know what he's doing. He's doing like the independent scene and stuff, but I used to love that guy. Cliff Higson, what's up? Good morning. Good to see ya. Nancy Marcho, here it good. What's up? Blanche Bowles, hey, what's up? Good to see ya. Great to have you here. News Now Enemy, Cliff Higson, Terry Barnes, Dave Perillo Jr., as always, in the house. What's up? Let's see who else we got here. Cliff Higson, good day. Good day. All right. Nancy, David, Pat Dagla, good morning. Commentator, auditor, good morning. Hezokuai land, hashtag rise and shine with Hezokuai. Dark Soul, what's up? Skyhawk, how's it going? Morocco actually advanced in the World Cup. Congratulations to the Moors. All right. Salacious, what's up? Great to see you as always. Chelsea May, hey. Nancy, Terry, Blanche. Let's see who else we got here. Cliff, Peck, what's up down under? All right, how you doing, buddy? Great to see you as always. Salacious, Dark Soul, Chelsea May, Cliff, Nancy, commentator, auditor, Stan Hawkins. What the hell are you talking about, man? I love you, Stan, but come on now. I know you better be joking. That's some BS right there. Chelsea May, what's up? Archangel 3, what's up? Let's see. Terry, Peck, Nancy, Chelsea, Brian Showman, what's up? Luna Nights, hey, great to see ya. I always call you Tequila Kid. Tequila Kid. Good morning. 60 today. Happy birthday. All right. In fact, I'm going to put that up. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Go drink that tequila. We know that's what you do. Let's see. Dakota, what's up? Great to see you, Christopher O'Connor. What's up? There's a new front. I'll look that up because I got a troll video on deck, but we'll see about that one too. Peck, the Hezekiah crew, Pat Dagla. That song needs an award. Thank you. I appreciate that. I Kiss, Nancy, Terry Barnes, Enzo. You're British. They play WWE in Britain, don't they? I know that they have live shows there sometimes. Glenn Molnar, what's up, Glenn? Good to see you. I Kiss, Jimbo, Free Cowboy. All right, yeah, now I know he's being sarcastic. All right, Jimbo, Salacious, Stan, Terry Barnes, William Grabba, what's up? Nancy, Salacious. All right, and I think Brian Showman, 59. I actually turned 50 in January. So we got that to look forward to next month. Jimbo, hey, Rashes, what's up? Players, and he has News Now Ninja in cuffs. Oh, wait a minute. I want to see that because I was, if it's the arrest from the other day, I was watching Good Citizen News stream while News Now Ninja was getting arrested, but it wasn't a video of the arrest. It was him talking to him on the phone and live streaming it. So if Troll actually has the arrest, I'll definitely show that because I didn't see that yet. So let me check Troll's channel real quick. Frauditor Troll. Yeah. That's one of the things you got to pay attention to, too. Oh, yep, there it is. Boom, 16 hours ago. All right. We'll look at that as well. I wanted to show that one and the one. Well, I was going to show. Well, I will show the one with Craig e-begging after he gets out of jail too. So we got a couple troll videos. Pearl Harbor Day. Thank you to any veterans out there. Absolutely. Let's see. News Now Enemy. The Hezokuai crew. What's up? So before we get the stow started, hey, Unclean Hands, what's up, brother? Welcome. Great to see you. Before we get the show started properly, just a little bit of catching up on what's been going on outside of the program. So yesterday, Good Citizen News went live, and he was going to go. Well, he did go to a town hall meeting for Houston, Texas, and he live streamed it, and I watched the whole thing because I was pumped. I was like, I know this guy's an idiot. I know he's gonna say or do something stupid. This is gonna be great content. Like I couldn't wait. So I sat there and I watched the whole thing from two different angles because the city of Houston itself was broadcasting the meeting. So I watched their coverage of it while in the second window I had open his live stream of him at it. And at first his big thing was he was going to go there to complain about the fact that you need ID to go there. Like there was an order from the mayor that to enter the meeting, you would have to present ID and sign in. And so he went there to protest the fact that you need ID to get in there. He went in there to protest that you need ID to get in there. Anyway, so he goes there, and at first he doesn't want to show his ID, and all of a sudden he's already turning it into this big major event when it was nothing. The lady asked him for ID. He said, "Oh, well, my name's so-and-so, so I don't have to present ID because I told you who I am." And she was like, "Oh, man." And then he says, "I told you to sign me in. Now be a good dog and do what I said." Then when her supervisor comes over, all of a sudden, "I don't understand why she's giving me attitude. I didn't do nothing." Let me repeat what happened. She asked him for ID. He said his name. And she said, "Well, yeah, but I need to actually physically see an ID." And he said, "Be a good dog and sign me in like I told you to." Then when her supervisor comes over, he's like, "I don't understand why she's giving me attitude. I didn't do nothing." So ultimately, he shows his ID and they let him in. So now I'm like, okay, that was almost something. But really, it was just him being an asshole, and they like, whatever, and then he got in. So now he's in because he was already signed up. He did all the stuff he was supposed to do, and he showed the ID ultimately. So they let him in, and I sat there all day yesterday watching this town hall meeting. Apparently, what happened was in Houston, Texas, there's a Kmart that went out of business years ago, and it's just been sitting there rotting for over a decade. I think they said 25 years actually since this place has been closed. So it's just been sitting there falling apart, and almost everybody in the town hall meeting was talking about this Kmart, and somebody has to do something with it because the whole neighborhood has become just this dumping ground for garbage and BS and all the broken windows and tore down and just everything. This huge mess that everyone's saying the whole town of Houston is being affected by this, and they're all there complaining about Kmart. So I'm sitting there listening to people talk about Kmart and talking about Kmart and talking about Kmart and talking about Kmart. And I'm waiting, and I see Good Citizen News, and he's sitting there, and he's just filming, and he's waiting, and he's waiting. He's chomping at the bit to get up there. And then they have this whole thing where the mayor of town in Africa came because they're working with Houston's oil, and they're making a deal with them to buy and trade, with Cameroon. I'm sorry, yeah, I think it was Cameroon. I don't know. There were two different delegations from other countries that were there, but they were doing business deals with Houston, Texas, and they're going back and forth on that for a while. And there's Good Citizen News. He's chomping at the bit. And I'm going back and forth between the two different views, his camera versus the official coverage of it. Then, after everyone gets done talking about Kmart, now everyone starts talking about this thing where apparently somebody, I don't know, I don't follow Houston local news, but apparently someone got shot by someone that the mayor grew up with. So like the mayor knows this guy. So everyone's complaining about how this criminal and what are you doing about it and blah, blah, blah. So now that's going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And I'm just waiting. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be great. When Good Citizen gets up to the mic, he's going to do his shit, and it's going to be a shit show. And I'm going to have a dumpster fire that I could cover on my stream tomorrow. So I just was Nigeria and Cameroon. Cliff knows exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Cliff. So anyway, all of this, finally, Good Citizen News gets up there. Immediately, I turn on my screen capture. I'm going to film this because this is going to be great stuff. So he gets up to the microphone and he goes, yes, I'd like to say that I see that you signed an executive order saying that people need to show ID. And the mayor says, okay. And then he leaves. That's it. So I'm like, damn it. I spent half my day sitting through all this. And I mean, it wasn't a total waste of time because it was educational. I didn't know anything about like what was going on with Nigeria and Cameroon and the mayor and his buddy and all this other stuff. So, but the point is I spent half my day waiting for this great content. And then when it finally happens, it's, I don't like that you signed this executive order. Okay, thanks. Have a nice day. And I'm like, that's it? I got nothing out of that. I mean, again, educational wise, it was pretty cool and I learned something. But yeah, so that's nothing. So after that, I went to the movie theater and I saw Violent Night. And I'm bringing that up because Peck was talking about it the other day and he recommended it. And I want to tell him and tell all you. Okay. It was a really dumb movie. I can't say it was like a great movie, but at the same time, I think you could tell it didn't take itself serious. Like it knew what it was. So in that sense, it actually is extremely well done because it's like, all right, here's all this crazy Christmas stuff put together in it's basically if you took Die Hard and because it's got a lot of references to Die Hard. If you take Die Hard and Home Alone and then sprinkle in a touch of Gremlins with some John Wick on top, that's basically what it was. Movie theaters still exist. Yeah, I go to the theater every Tuesday because I got $5 Tuesdays. But it's a lot of the movies that have been coming out lately are pretty, yeah. Not a lot of great stuff out there right now, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. Seeing Santa Claus running around murdering people with a sledgehammer, but it wasn't one of these, standard Christmas Santa's a bad guy horror movies. he's only killing bad guys. So he's still a good guy. He's still Santa. He actually has his magic naughty and nice list. And if you're, he'll only kill you if you're on his naughty list. It's anyway. That's what I did yesterday. But now we got everything all put together, ready to go for the show. Kim Crawford, good morning. Good to see you. Glad you're in the house always. Good to see everybody, man. Yeah, hit that like button. I love it when people spell it like the way Chili says it. Button. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Vigilante Santa. Yeah, kind of, sort of. What happens is, well, I don't want to give away too many spoilers because it is worth a watch if you're into like action comedy type stuff. But it's like Santa's in a house delivering presents, and the people that are in the house get kidnapped on Christmas Eve while Santa's in the house. So once Santa figures out what's going on, at first he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. He just wants to deliver his presents and go about his business. But like as he's leaving, he notices there's a little girl in the house, and he's like, I'm all about making kids happy. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to go back there and try to help the little girl. And then it turns into this whole, thing. But yeah, he just kind of gets caught in the middle of it. But by the end, he learns the true meaning of Christmas. And you know what? When I talked about all the movies that it kind of is made up of, you sprinkle a little bit of Elf in there too, because in the end, what it ultimately comes down to is whether or not people believe in Santa is what, the power comes from and all that. JD Colt, what's up? Good morning. So what I'm going to start with today, real quick, just to have a little fun. Well, you know what? I'll start with a couple videos and I'll throw in the fun stuff in the middle as a kind of palate cleanser before we get into more. Your present for being naughty is a hammer to the face. That's right. And, the more I think about that movie, the more references to other movies I think of. It's got references to Krampus, too. So it's got, and that's just the thing. It's not like the style of it kind of reminds you like of Die Hard or Home Alone or whatever. It's like, no, it references specifically Home Alone. They talk about the movie Home Alone, but there's references to Die Hard, Home Alone, Krampus, Elf, Gremlins. There's all these little bits and pieces of things that like all these different Christmas movies you could pull from. What's up, Rashid? How you doing? Great to see you. So anyway, let's start with this. We saw, because I covered when Craig got arrested. So now let's show the video covering him getting out of jail and e-begging. This is from Troll. And let's check this out.
I live here.
Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we have Craig, who is fresh out of jail, and he is hard at work e-begging for lawyer fees. Yep. So yeah, Craig did it again, got himself arrested.
I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to take a moment to stop everything and make an extremely important announcement. Graham's in the house. What's up, Graham? He gets so mad when I don't say his name because I always say everybody's names. And to be 100% perfectly honest, sometimes I purposely don't say it just to get under his skin a little bit. But it's a joke. I love you, Graham. We got this whole thing for his show set up where we're going to do an episode and I'm going to be a guest in it. It's going to be great. Don't want to give away too many spoilers, but we're working on some stuff together. Anyway, I just had to, acknowledge that he acknowledged that I didn't acknowledge him. Edward, what's up? All right, so let's get back to Troll.
Posted the video yesterday. If you're not familiar with that, go check it out before watching this one. That way you'll have the full picture. That being said, enjoy the video.
Well, I'm just out of court. I don't know if anybody is in here, but in the off chance that somebody is and it's not showing me, I'm just out of court in Boyd County, Kentucky. where I was arrested on Friday, and that was the last video uploaded to my channel, was me getting arrested for basically free speech, but the charges were disorderly conduct, trespass, criminal trespass in the 3rd degree in Kentucky. And there's a few things I wanted to go to court before I gave you all a live update on it. And I know I left you guys hanging in the video a little bit, but that's what this is for. So, yeah, JoJo. Yeah, absolutely. You got that right. Yeah. See a lot of people saying thank you. Well, thank you guys for supporting us. So, guys, I just got out of Kentucky.
So to the people that are supporting him financially, what I would say is that this man was arrested 3 times in 30 days. And some of the arrests are for felonies and domestic battery. So think of what you're doing with your money. You're just encouraging to continue down this criminal path. So you would be better off just throwing it out the window, because he will not make good use of it. It will just motivate him to commit more crimes.
Kentucky court in Boyd County. And so there's a few problems with this case. So as you all saw, an older gentleman named Runyon was actually the arresting officer. And on this paperwork right here.
All right, I'm sorry. I just want to say real quick, Peck, that's because you're in Australia. You don't understand. He's in the wrong seat. He's not driving. Ty's driving. So, yeah, I mean, yes, people like Chili and these guys do film themselves while driving. But, no, he's in the passenger seat, and Ty's driving. But anyway, that's neither here nor there because he's still an idiot.
It shows that the arresting officer was actually this guy, Richard Jones. Now, Richard Jones sat in the back room with me after they took me back and arrested me and wrote up this report. But he wasn't the arresting officer. The guy who arrested me actually never signed any report or official affidavit that I'm aware of yet. Now, upon arresting me, Richard Jones, the guy who signed this report, took my name down and wrote it on the report. His other officers were trying to write me in as a John Doe so I could sit in jail until Monday, today. So what they did was they called Richard out of the room and made him throw away his first report and write down John Doe instead of Craig Hendry. Now, after that happened, of course, I told them to write my name. You know, I wasn't going to let them get away with that. So I immediately got my way by the necessary means.
Okay, guys, let me know in the comment section if you actually believe this story that they wanted to put him in as a John Doe, because personally, I think it's a pile of BS.
But, yeah, you know, all this stuff is ridiculous, you know, and we showed that it shows here in the report, subject has refused to cooperate. And they put me down as a flight risk because of this probable cause report, which I haven't even seen yet. But the one, hey, that's awesome, man. You should send me a picture of you in the hoodie on my Gmail, as if it's your business. Good morning, absolutely good morning. So, guys, anyways, though, I came to Kentucky and didn't tell anybody I was coming to Kentucky, so basically they wouldn't be ready for us to come, and certainly they weren't. They were ready to attack, that's for sure. But guys, what we've got going on, and you know I hate to do this, but I've got some legal fees now that I've incurred.
No way. So you're telling me that if you commit crimes, you're going to have to pay some legal fees to hire an attorney? Say it ain't so. That is so strange. I've never thought about it that way. Wow, I guess I should just go get my wallet and whip out my credit card and give you $1,000, right? No, I don't think so. That's on you, buddy. And if your subscribers are dumb enough to give you money, I guess that's on them.
And I am asking now for donations to either YouTube or to Cash App to help me out pay for these. The plan when coming to Kentucky was not actually to get arrested As you know, I've got litigation going out of Indiana right now, so this is just more on my plate. After court, I did go over to the public defender's office, and I did get a court-appointed attorney, but we all know what court-appointed attorneys are like. You know, they don't do anything. They work for the state, and I hope that I'm wrong about my attorney. I'm going to ask him to put in a motion to dismiss, but we'll see how that goes. But guys, I am, as of right now, asking for donations for my recent arrest. I just saw, I don't know if Lackluster is in the live stream, but Lackluster commented on my page just there somewhere. He said, when did this occur? This occurred on Friday, the 2nd, December 2nd, 2022. And yeah, I mean, it was a surprise to all of us. I'm here with Gem City News right now. He's actually helped me out immensely, guys, because as
I made a mistake. I thought Ty was driving. I'm sorry. It's Feck City News, whatever. Who cares? Anyway, couple things that I wanted to address. First of all, obviously, it's almost impossible when these guys tell their stories to believe them, because we know from their videos they lie constantly. So it makes it, when you set up your entire career based on the fact that you tell lies, it makes it extremely difficult for me to take your word for it when you're telling me something. And I love the fact that what he's doing, if you really, by the way, I didn't say hello to Corrections 101, Texas Tim. Who else did I miss? I saw somebody. It looks like we got Nilsson here from Germany. Yep. What's up? Good to see you. So anyway, this guy, he's his whole thing is, if you really pay attention to what he's saying, what is he actually trying to do? Right? And so many of them do this. And this is why I wanted to stop it and point it out, because it happens all the time with these guys. He's trying to build this whole thing where he is the center of the universe. And the entire city was ready for him. Like, well, that's why I wanted to be John Doe, so they didn't know I was coming, so they wouldn't be ready. But it looks like they just, when I got there, they just decided that they were going to, like, they weren't responding to an idiot walking in the courthouse being stupid. No, it was because it was him. Like, the whole city stops what they're doing because they know Craig's coming. Like, they had to know who I was. I wasn't a John Doe. They know me because everybody knows me because I'm what? Leonardo DiCaprio? Like, what the hell are you talking about? And I also saw, not from himself, but when I was talking earlier about yesterday with Good Citizen News going to the city hall meeting, I was looking at his comment section. And when I was telling the story earlier, I don't know if I said hi, JD Colt. When I was telling the story earlier, I was talking about how half of the meeting was just about some abandoned Kmart, right? But the whole time that people were going up there talking about Kmart, if you were reading his chat, these people have their fans so brainwashed. Their fans are such sheep that they were convinced that the only reason why so many people were going up to the city hall and talking to the mayor about Kmart was to waste time so that Good Citizen News wouldn't have time to talk. Like, the entire city of Houston, Texas made a plan together with the mayor, the city council, and all the citizens that were talking to waste time and filibuster so that Good Citizen News would have less time because they knew he was going to be there. These guys really believe that they're the center of the universe and that all the police and all the judges and everyone stops what they're doing because this guy. And then the other thing I wanted to address is, what did he just say? Well, we know public defenders are no good, but I'm going to ask him to file a motion to dismiss. And that's a huge problem with all of these idiots, is because if they ask their lawyer to submit a motion that is like nonsense or stupid, or that they can't submit because it's ridiculous, and they don't submit it, the lawyer's not doing his job. His job, just like all public servants, is to do what I say, when I say it, lick my boots, kiss my butt. I told him to hand that paper to the judge, and he didn't want to look like an idiot and possibly get disbarred for handing in stupid paperwork. So I had to fire him and hand in my own stupid paperwork that the judge is going to ignore. Anyway, let's get back to this bunghole e-begging.
My license situation is a bit.
So Lackluster is doing a little bit of research for his next video. He doesn't give a shit about Craig. He's just after that payday. And obviously Lackluster will make a video on this, rile up the masses, and all the morons will get all excited. But in fact, Craig got arrested for a valid reason. We saw the video. He wasn't allowed to record. He didn't want to leave. The officer wasn't interested in playing games with him, so he arrested him.
Horrendous. So Ty from Gem City has taken time out of his life to drive me to my court date in Kentucky when I was supposed to leave yesterday. So I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by great people, but definitely this was just not supposed to happen. I mean, I know that we all saw it. And then afterwards, I'll tell you guys a little bit about some stuff that happened afterwards. So just there in the public defender's office, I told them about them forcing Mr. Jones, the officer who wrote this report. They forced Mr. Jones to put me as a John Doe. They forced him to sign his name to a piece of paper. I can't say that they physically forced him, but they certainly made him do it, right? None of the other officers did it. So, yeah, Moparman, that is right. But so I told them that at the public defender's office, and they confirmed with me that they had changed the report, that there was an initial report that got thrown out, and then they immediately wrote this report, which was doctored in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to allege, because why else would they throw out the first one? So, yeah, guys, this was illegal. We're trying to figure stuff out. It happened on a Friday, so I had the weekend to sit on it and try to figure this stuff out. Good guys, thank you very much for that donation. United we stand. Yes, absolutely.
So here we have Good Guy Audits that whipped out the very last of his YouTube money and sent $10 to Craig. And that is absolutely ridiculous. If he's not even paying for his kids, why would he send $10 to a random idiot on the internet that just got arrested? Anyways, and what I'm saying about Good Guy Audits, I know for a fact. I'm not speculating. I know for a fact that he is a broke idiot that doesn't provide for his family, and that his baby mamas have to pay for everything.
Absolutely. And guys, but they so what I'm trying to say is it happened Friday. I couldn't find an attorney on a Friday. I got out of jail when it was dark out, so all the attorneys' offices were closed. And so right now the search begins. The search begins for a criminal, and the search begins for a civil attorney to file a tort claim. These are our next steps. If anybody knows about any civil or criminal attorneys that practice in the state of Kentucky that you've had good experience with, I'd appreciate any information that can be sent to my Gmail at chandtyaudits@gmail.com. But guys, the most important thing that we can do is try to make a legal stand. And not only that, let these people know what you think of them. Redress your grievances with your government. Call the prosecutor's office in Boyd County, Kentucky. Call the sheriff's office in Boyd County, Kentucky.
Bobby Woods.
Bobby Woods is the sheriff. And he did make an appearance in my video that I posted, I believe, 2 days ago. Right. Nightmares, treasures. I will read your email. Jojo Robinson, $4.99. Thank you very much. Guys, put the email in the comment section, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, I will do that. That's actually a good idea. But yes, View Truex. I'm sure I just totally butchered that YouTube name, but another illegal arrest by Blue ISIS. Yes. And this time, guys, he was blatant about it. The guy said, you're getting what you want. He said, Ty said something like, you're out of control. And he said, you guys are getting what you want.
Right.
Well, I mean, that is 100% accurate. You guys want a confrontation. You want to get arrested. So that way you can do some e-begging afterwards. So the officer was 100% accurate in his statement.
Yes.
And then he said, well, we might just, I might just retire soon. You know, when I told him that he's messing up big time.
In a few years, I'm going to retire and I don't have to put up with you morons.
Yeah, that's what he said. So, and then
that's just telling the
let's
truth.
see, how long were you in jail? TR, I was actually in jail for only 6 hours. I was in jail for maybe 3 hours. They had me sitting handcuffed behind my back in a room in the courthouse for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then they walked me over to the courthouse and I was sitting there for another 3 or 4.
Good.
Vinny Barusa. So Vinny is right. They say Bobby Woods, who's the sheriff in the county I just got arrested in, got voted out in the last election, and he got voted out by a huge margin. It was a surprise victor, and he got voted out completely. But, you know, still, nevertheless, you know, call and let them know what you think about it. These guys need to know that this isn't normal. Yes, he is still in office right now.
What isn't normal?
3. So as if it's your business, I was probably in the actual jailhouse for maybe 3 or 4 hours, but I was under arrest and incarcerated, I think in the literal sense, for more like 6 hours. So Brian in Shining Armor says, can somebody post the phone numbers? That would be great if we could get somebody to post the phone numbers. The phone numbers are, you know, okay, yeah, we'll post them later, but can we get some people in the comments now in the live chat to post the Boyd County Sheriff's Department's phone number and the Boyd County Prosecuting Attorney's phone number?
Oh, yes, the good old call flooding technique. And what's ridiculous is that these idiots are going to make phone calls, acting like morons, and they only have hearsay. They only hear what Craig wants to tell them. So they're going to go and make phone calls and start threatening the prosecutors and the cops there based on what a career criminal is telling them. So they can't think on their own. They're like little sheeple. They have to listen to what Craig is telling them to do.
That would be absolutely great. Yeah, I don't know if Boyd County Sheriff's Department, Red Dead Ryan, that's what jail it's at. But the jail is actually, the employees at the jail, while I was getting violated, were extremely polite about it. So, you know, if we could avoid calling the detention center, honestly, those people know not what was being done to me. They were just processing me in. They did it as fast as they could, and I got it out. I just got a chat from Mark. Thank you, Mark, so much. It was $5. That really helps us out. Ty is on the phone numbers and the emails in the comments. Thank you so much, Ty, for doing that. And that's actually the reason that Ty didn't come, is because I had to get a ride and there wasn't enough room in the car. So that's the reason Ty wasn't here. We were not supposed to we were not supposed to go to jail. This was totally unexpected. These guys just came out and immediately wanted to antagonize. I mean, you could tell they wanted to incriminate, violate, and now the prosecutors picked it up and they're trying to litigate. And in order to do that, in order to fight that, make them compensate, we're going to need to kind of aggregate as a whole here, pull together and fight this if we can.
His little e-begging play on words is honestly so pathetic. That's their slogan. They're like, oh, if you violate, we litigate. But he hasn't litigated anything. He hasn't sued anyone. It's all BS.
So, okay, a little slow, but I tried. Not telling. What is it here? We roll that down, brother. I mean, up. 9 to 10 hours. Yeah, guys. I mean, and guys, I just wanted to call you or get on this live stream and update you as to what.
Anyway, that's enough of that. He's just going to keep talking trash for the next few minutes. We all know what a douchebag Craig is, career criminal. always causing trouble, and then crying like a little baby if he gets arrested, because that's what he does, and then begging for money, whatever. It's a bunch of crap. And again, you don't, go around causing trouble and you won't get arrested. Wow, what a surprise. Somebody asked what he was talking about with the whole sheriff getting elected or not getting elected thing. What happened was when he was getting arrested, he was saying, oh, well, when the old sheriff was in charge, this would have never have happened. So that's why he's talking about, well, the old sheriff, he told those cops what's what, but they got a new sheriff now and he lets them get away with anything because they arrested him. So that means that they're all bad and the new sheriff is crap, right? That was Lee Merriweather, Chris. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there were 3 actresses who played Catwoman in the 60s. Lee Merriweather, I think only played her like once or twice. And then obviously the main one before Eartha Kitt was, you guys just said it, dagnabbit. I literally just read the name a minute ago, and now my brain just totally turned off. Julie Newmar, yes. Yeah, a lot of different actresses have played her after a while. J.D. Colt, sweet girls don't get choked out. Oh, man. One of the charges is strangulation. See, this is the problem with the whole Craig being charged with strangulation thing. When Troll interviewed him, he talked about, like, he was proud of it. Like, he talked about the fact that choking women while he's doing it with them is one of his things that he enjoys to do. So that's why when we hear a few months later that he got charged with strangling a woman, it's really difficult to just say, well, that must be a false accusation, or where in the world would something like that come from, when just a few months earlier he admitted on a live stream that that's one of his fetishes. So let's see. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, so again, we all know he's a career criminal and that he, the dude, even if he, whatever the ends up happening long term with his felony charges, right? We know that the guy has admitted openly that he's a criminal, but Julie Weaver, what's up? But because he doesn't see what he's doing as bad, he would say that he's not a criminal, right? Because in all of these guys, not just him, but all of them, because they have these different definitions of words, right? If it doesn't follow their narrative, then it doesn't count, right? Again, always getting back to the people who get pulled over because they have no driver's license and no license plate and no registration and no insurance. Well, in their head, it's legal to drive without a license. That's not true, but they believe it is. So they'll say and they'll swear, I never did anything wrong. Yes, you did. You drove without a license. So when Craig always says, oh, no, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, how can you believe him? Because he'll go on and say, yeah, I got busted for dealing marijuana, but there's a lot of places that have legalized it now. It's like, okay, but you were in a place where it was illegal and you got busted for selling it, and that's what it is. Like, whether or not you agree with the law doesn't change the fact that it's the law. What's up, K-Far? Anyway, let's see. Some girls do have a hand around. Yeah. Whatever. That's what he was saying, Dave. But we'll see. Again, that's all just, innocent until proven guilty, so we don't know that that's what happened with him, but we do know that that's what he's been charged with. So we'll see what ends up happening. So anyway, since we're on the Frauditor troll angle right now, and the other day I did cover when or I didn't cover, but I watched and talked about the stream where Good Citizen News was live streaming talking about News Now Ninja's arrest. But apparently, Frauditor Troll got the footage of the arrest. So we're going to watch that now. And let's see what's up with that. But real quick before I go on, another thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, just because it was fascinating to me. So going back like years ago, because I've had this channel for 12 years, I was doing a lot of just random videos, posting like my music and stuff. And then I started doing all these videos about the Chicago Bears. And another creator called the Ghost of Judah Tribe, he did Bears videos. And he talked about my channel on his channel. And that's when I first started getting a little bit of attention. Now, years later, when I started doing this, and then I got, Law Talk with Mike, and then obviously once Schrodinger mentioned my channel, then that's when it's really, really hit. But at the time, that was the first bump my channel ever got. So after that, me and him started talking, and I go on his channel, and we became cool, and it was all good. And then I just started doing my thing, and he started doing his thing, and that was it. He had his channel, I had my channel. And over the years, I went from just doing bear stuff to now focusing pretty much on these frauditors. At the same time, his channel went from just bear stuff to him talking about how he loves this whole First Amendment auditing scene and how he supports these guys. So now we're both on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. And then last night, he finally hit 1,000 subs and was doing his 1,000 sub special and actually had me up on panel. And we were talking, because the whole idea was to talk about the Bears, but we ended up started talking about the auditors and stuff. And it was really fascinating to see how, like, both of us started like in the same spot and then went in literally completely opposite directions. So then we got back and just started talking about the Bears again. But yeah, as far as the Super Bowl this year, it's definitely the Bears aren't going to be there. That's for sure. Oh, there you go, Christopher O'Connor. That's how you found me. It was because I was talking about football. See? But anyway, the next video I want to do is, again, the News Now Ninja arrest, a video. Apparently, Troll got it, so we're going to check that out. Because I haven't seen this yet. Like I said, I talked about the arrest when it happened, but I didn't actually see any footage from it. So,
I live here.
Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we have great news because News Now Ninja was arrested. Now, obviously, he's going to play the victim. He's going to do the e-begging routine. That's all to be expected. Enjoy the video.
Oh, it's the officer that was a dumbass last time. You remember me? You gonna be better this time? Sir. You gonna be better this time? I'm sure you got reamed by your supervisor, didn't ya? You got reamed for that shit, didn't ya? You figured out who News Now Ninja was, didn't ya? You gonna call for a backup?
Wow, as you guys can see, the fame is getting to News Now Ninja's head. He's like, oh, you know who News Now Ninja is? I really can't stand it when they talk about themselves in the third person. It's so pretentious and unnecessary.
Do it. I'll go ahead and drop the link from the clip from this guy last time, right here in the top right-hand corner, if you'd like to see it. And here's a small portion of that video just for fun. Here we go.
What's your name?
I don't give my identification. 3802 states I only have to give my identification if I'm under arrest.
Okay.
So what am I under arrest for?
You're not under arrest.
Okay, then I'm not going to give you my name.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So why'd you just get out of your car to think you're going to intimidate me?
So, what are you doing here?
I'm taking video of you not doing your job
Okay. How long are you gonna take the video?
until you get back to work.
Man, News Now Ninja is such a clown. Absolutely ridiculous. He doesn't even know what work is. All he does is take other frauditors' videos, uploads them without any commentary whatsoever, and makes a bunch of money off it. It's absolutely ridiculous. His videos are not transformative whatsoever, but the frauditors let it fly because he's licking their boots. He's actually stroking their egos, so they let it happen.
I believe it's Maya, right? What was your name? Kaya? 48041. This officer got to figure out who News Now Ninja was. Last time he thought he was a cocky piece of shit. Look, they're running all the traffic from the road through a parking lot to go around this car. Kaya! Why are you blocking traffic, bro?
I'm sorry. I think there might be something wrong with his eyes. Does he not see this? Like, they don't need space to take care of this? Like, he's blocking the road because they're trying to take care of this? Like, you can't be that stupid. Is it possible for a human to be that dumb? Like, for real? Like, I always like to say, like, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys were that stupid. But, okay, Far, if they went back in time, they'd get their faces busted. Like, yeah, News Now Ninja is that stupid. The founding fathers would have put these guys in the ground. You know what? I've talked about this before because one of the many reasons why I hate what these guys do is because they love to talk about, well, the founding fathers gave us these rights or wrote this, whatever. They always like to argue that they didn't give it, whatever. I don't want to get into their whole argument. We'll be here for an hour. But my hat's funky. Hold on. Let me just, I'll just take it off. Anyway, so they love to talk about the founding fathers this, the founding fathers that, and the First Amendment and freedom of speech and all that. But listen, think about what you're saying. At the time that the First Amendment was created, what would happen if you actually spoke to someone back then the way these guys talk to people. You insult me? You know what was legal back then? You insult me, I challenge you to a duel. We each get a gun and shoot at each other. That was legal at the time. So to say that people who thought that that was appropriate response to being insulted would be good with the way you talk to people? No way. No way. Forgiving Jerry in the house. What's up?
Kaya! Sir! Why are you blocking the roadway?
I could ask him another question. Why are you yelling at the top of your lungs like a complete psycho? Obviously, you're not wanted here. You're not helping anyone with the accident, so obviously you have no purpose here.
Look at all these people going through a parking lot, man. There's no reason for this.
Now, let's think about this the way I would if I was there when this happened. Now, realistically, I would probably be one of the people that's just driving through. But from the philosophy that News Now Ninja is trying to sell, right? He's trying to help the people, right? The citizens, everyone else, because of these cops, whatever. If you're that concerned about traffic and the dangers of them driving through the gas station and this and that, and the cop blocking the road, if you're really that concerned, where that's your thing, not just harassing the cop because that's what you do, so obviously that's why you're there. But again, your audience buying and believing your false narrative, if you really were that concerned with the traffic going through the gas station and you want to actively participate in somehow helping the people that are trying to drive around it because the police officer blocked the road, instead of screaming at the cop, why don't you go in the gas station parking lot and, since you want to be a citizen helping, help direct traffic, help people say, okay, you can turn here. Like, if you want to insert yourself into the situation to help keep the people safe because the road is blocked, why don't you do that instead of standing on the corner screaming at the cops like an idiot? Well, you're not going to do that because that's what you do, right? Every video you make is you screaming at the cops like an idiot. So we know that you don't care about the traffic. You don't care about the road being blocked. You're just looking for excuses to yell at cops because every video you make is you looking for excuses to yell at cops. You don't actually care about him blocking the road. You don't actually care about the traffic, because if you did, you'd be doing something about that. But instead, you're just harassing the cop because that's what you do.
Why do you have the whole road blocked? Call your supervisor now or I'm going to, because I have his personal phone number. You need to do what's right or you're going to look stupid as fuck on the internet again.
You're the one who looks stupid on the internet.
First of all, fuck you. I taught you your lesson last time.
You didn't
Don't
teach
first of all
anyone
me.
anything.
Get back to
ever.
work, call your supervisor, and get your fucking car out of the road. This road is closed, you idiot. Yeah, and so what am I back off for, you moron? Yeah, get back to work. You figured this shit out last time. I'm your boss. You remember? Yeah. That's what your supervisor told you too, right?
I have a challenge for News Now Ninja. Since he is this officer's boss, why doesn't he just bring the officer into his office and fire him? Oh, yeah, that's right. He can't do that because he's not his boss.
Yeah, good. Good. Why are you blocking the road? Look at what you're doing. You can block one lane and let people by, bro. Do I have to teach you how to do your job?
You don't
You're blocking
know.
both lanes for what reason?
You don't.
Why are you blocking both lanes, officer? Look, you're causing a congestion of traffic.
What an asshat.
You're the problem here.
No, you are, you douche canoe. What's
That's
up,
why I'm
Scott
still
Ammo?
here holding you
Video.
accountable like in the last video. I already made you famous. Now you're going to get famous again because you're blocking the road because of what? Because of one tree? You can open up one lane, officer.
You could shut your mouth.
Open up one lane. My name is Ninja. Or you can call me Daddy.
Or douchebag.
You can call me Daddy. Are you doxing? Are you doxing? Oh, look, Kaya. Look at Kaya. He wants to say my name is James Kane. You know what? Why he knows my name? Because I'm his daddy.
Did you take your medicine today, James? Did you take your medicine
I don't take
today?
medicine.
I thought marijuana was medicinal.
So News Now Ninja James Kane says he doesn't take medicine, but he should. He should get himself checked out because, as I've said before, frauditing is a psychiatric issue. It's a mental problem.
Yep.
Even though frauditing makes a certain amount of money depending on the individual, it is not worth it. And anybody in their right mind knows that. So if you're going out there knowingly frauditing, you need to get yourself checked.
Are you trying to make some kind of sarcastic statement that I should be on medication? Because that would be discrimination. You're in uniform, you piece of shit. I could call you
what the? You're so stupid.
all day.
You're so stupid.
And you don't have the right to say shit to me. So why don't you get back to being orderly instead of disorderly? You coward.
He's standing there dealing with this situation. The guy's screaming at him and calling him disorderly.
I don't play with stupid pigs like you.
See, this goes back once again to my whole argument about the false narrative building, right? Like, they're accusing this cop of being disorderly. The whole time, he's literally just standing there. Where's the disorder? It's not the crazy hippie idiot screaming at the top of his lungs on the street corner. That's not the one who's disorderly. It's the cop who's literally standing in the median, just literally standing there. That's the disorderly one. Ugh.
Destroying our nation.
No, you are.
Stupid pigs like you destroy our nation.
No, stupid hippies.
You could tell that he's probably foaming at the mouth at this moment. And by the way, I'm really sorry. I do have to mute a lot of the foul language he's using. Unfortunately, YouTube updated their policies and swearing is a lot less tolerated than it used to be. I don't know why they're doing it, but it is what it is.
Look at what you're doing. Look at the traffic because you blocked up both lanes, you coward. Back up. Open up a lane. Let these people through. I hope you started your body camera because I'll be doing a public information. You didn't even start your body camera? Officer Kaya being a typical coward. This time he's not hiding behind a building. He's cutting off the whole fucking road. This is called free speech, baby. First Amendment, free speech. Kaya, your officer supervisor taught you not to with me last time. You want to go again? Let's go. You sit down. I'm standing for our freedom. This is a bad cop. That's a bad cop. Kaya, You could be way more professional, bro.
His name's Officer Kaya Pong.
And I could say the same about you, Ninja. Yelling at the top of your lung obscenities like a crazy psycho doesn't really look professional.
What's up, Donna Ray? Good to see you.
Thank you. Get your ass out of here. Come on through, guys. Come on through. Come on through. That's all I wanted was for the traffic to be free. Look, and now it worked. I'm sorry if I seem like a dick. I'm really a good person. I have kids.
No, you're not.
But that guy's a bad cop. I've dealt with him in the past. His supervisor even said he's a rookie.
That makes him a bad cop.
I appreciate you guys are the real heroes. Hey, that's why I film the cops and not medical professionals. Because I support y'all guys.
Mike McWilliams, what's up?
Yeah. Free speech is okay. Did you have to ask? Did you have to ask him if I had permission for free speech? Is that what you did? Yeah. Okay. Are you crying to him? Do you want him to enforce your feelings or law?
Oh, he doesn't have free speech to quote unquote cry.
It's funny that he's saying bye, Bubba, because he's the one that's going to be seeing Bubba in jail quite soon.
I'm sorry. Kaya, I'll shake your hand.
Back off.
I'm shaking your hand.
No, back off. Back off. Look.
I'm trying to respectfully say goodbye.
No, just back off.
You got out of the road. That's all I wanted.
Back off on my seat.
I'm trying to give you a shake.
I'm gonna warn you one more
You
time.
see him? You see how inconsiderate? Dude, you're a coward, bro.
Just back off.
Why don't you ask the property owners to ask me to back off? This is private property. Do you own it? You want to play the game of property?
I'm gonna warn you one more time. We're gonna be detained.
Well, detain me. And you're gonna lose your qualified immunity.
You can film any way you want, but just film over there, not here, okay?
This is private property. You don't own this property.
This is the investigation.
You do not, okay? And I'm not infuriating. I came to give you a handshake and you're acting like a child.
Back off.
I'm gonna say it right here.
Now, I would ask Ninja, why the hell would he shake your hand? You've been yelling at him like a deranged psychopath for the last 10 minutes. Why would he want to shake your hand? And don't tell me it's part of his policy to shake the public's hands, because it sure isn't.
Private property. Private property.
Hello, Blue Line Body Cam.
So as you guys saw, he was about to get arrested. News Now Ninja chose not to put that footage because getting full monetization on his video is much more important than showing the actual arrest footage to his subscribers. Anyways, before we wrap up the video, I have a little tidbit of good news for you. Check this out.
What's going on, my people? This is Giancarlo's, Eli's brother-in-law. Just giving you guys a quick update. We literally just walked out of the visit. We saw Eli today. He's doing well. Everything is going good. Just to give you an update, the case for Pennsylvania that had fell through the cracks is now open again, meaning that we have a court date for that littering, which never really happened. There's no video on him littering. There's no implications, nothing implying that he littered, as the cop has stated, the same cop that was turning on and off the camera. So that's what we're working on now. The lawyer, Eli's lawyer, who was very adamant that nothing would happen, that it fell through the cracks, is not even responsive as to now. Hopefully that when the trial, well, not trial, sorry, comes, that the lawyer does respond and is there, because we're following up accordingly. We're trying to do everything correctly. Eli will be a free man coming out of here, and just keeping you guys updated. We're not stopping the support. That's our brother-in-law. That's my brother-in-law, and we love him, and he's doing well. He's doing well. He's strong physically and strong-minded. So we're gonna complete this little journey that we're doing. 2023 is a new year, and we're right around the corner. So if you see me with a smile, it's because everything is going accordingly. Everything is good, and nothing but good hopes for Eli and for us. Thank you for all the support. Keep subscribing to the YouTube channel,
Eli, the people's guy. If you want to keep on supporting, we do have the links in bio, in the description. And
all right, well, that's enough e-bagging I can hear for today, because I just edited the Craig video where he
All right. Anyway, there's that. That was kind of cool that he threw that in the ending. I didn't know about that. Who is Eli? Eli is one of the reasons why no, he's not one of the reasons. He is the reason. Let's be straight. When I first started doing live streams, a couple times I would say to you guys, hey, hello, my peeps. But I can't say that anymore, because every time I say that, it makes me think of Eli. Because Eli, he's one of the guys, if you don't know Eli, if you're not familiar with him, he was one of the frauditors who was on the same level as like an SGV News or a Silence Boy or a KC Camera Boy or NC Tyrant Hunter or frickin' media. He'd be on a live stream and he'd be like talking to his fans. Yo, what's up, my peeps? We're going to show these cops what's what, my peeps. Check it out, my peeps. And then he'll walk up to the cops and be like, hey, you fucking stupid pigs. Hey, you're going to suck my dick or what? Like, just start swearing and acting crazy and giving people a hard time and threatening people on the street. And I mean, he was a total piece of crap. The dude was horrible. Yeah, it's, oh, ooh. Let's see. Who made it legal to stand on the side of the road and scream profanities at police officers? Well, it's part of their job. And why is it part of their job description to take verbal abuse? Simone, what's up? Good to see you. Here's the thing. Yes, police are supposed to be professional, because people get upset and they say things. And yeah, technically, legally, you could say whatever you want. But the whole thing about like this whole feelings enforcement versus law enforcement or whatever is, it just, first of all, it falls apart because like that video we just watched with News Now Ninja, when the cop wouldn't shake his hand. Oh, did the fact that he didn't want to shake your hand hurt your feelings, Mr. Frauditor? I thought feelings didn't matter. It doesn't hold up, because if anyone ever hurts their feelings, they're a tyrant. If anyone hurts their feelings, they're horrible public servants. They're terrible. I can't believe the way these people treated me. How dare they? But if they hurt someone else's feelings, well, feelings aren't laws, so it shouldn't matter. Like, if their argument is true, then what that means is all human beings have no emotions, no feelings, no ideas, no reactions to anything ever. That's called freedom? You want more freedom, so because you want more freedom, no one anywhere is ever allowed to have a feeling? It's like they actually do want to make the feelings police, because if anyone feels anything, they get all mad and upset and they cry about it because their feelings are hurt. It's always with these frauditors, it's always the world revolves around them. They can film all they want, but the second someone films one of them, it's a big, major, horrible, terrible no, and you're a Cambacking Karen, and you're a piece of crap, and I hate your guts, and you're terrible. But I thought you wanted everyone to film, and that's what you were fighting for. Yes, unless they're filming a frauditor. Same thing. You can go around hurting people's feelings, and feelings don't trump laws, fine. But if somebody says or does something to hurt your feelings, oh, it's the end of the world, and I'm going to sue you, and I'm going to FOIA this, and I'm going to get those recordings, and I'm going to prove that you said this to me, and I have it all on video, and how you hurt my feelings, I'm going to sue you, and how dare you speak that way to me? I thought you were supposed to be a professional, blah, blah, blah. And someone hurts their feelings, and they cry and whine and weep more than anybody. The cops will stand there like this. I've seen thousands of videos. The cop will stand there like this. being berated and swore at. And what? The cops literally just standing there listening to you verbally try to dismantle them for 45 minutes or however long the video is, and they're not reacting or doing anything. Now that's what I call tyranny. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Tyranny would be if you said, hey, officer, what the hell's your problem? And he ran over, hit you in the head with his nightstick, handcuffed you to a post and started kicking you in the ribs until you spent 6 months in a coma. That would be tyranny. This, standing there listening to you berate him forever, how is that tyranny? The hell are you guys talking about? False narratives, lies, stupid, frauditing, BS, crap, and garbage. Crapola. Poop. Let's see. So they filmed their pattern of behavior. Yeah. Oh, forgiven Jerry, you're going to be on Mark Stott's next show? That's going to be cool. I'll probably end up watching that. I usually do. Let's see. Yeah, they film themselves committing crimes all the time. Blue Line Body Cam. Wow, this guy's blowing a gasket. Okay, you wanna see me blow a gasket? Hey, NCR News Network, what's up? Graham, get hitting that like button. All right. So let me give you an example of one of the things that I love to rant about. So why is it that these people believe that if you're a public servant, that servant is the same thing as slave? They always talk about bootlickers and sheep and this and that, but one, their followers are sheep. The people who follow the frauditors are sheep. They want all public servants because they're their boss to lick their boots. The frauditors want their boots licked. If you walk into a building and you see a secretary that's sitting there typing and you walk up to her and you say, I want a FOIA request, you can't just walk in there and say, yes, I'd like to request one of those forms to fill out for a FOIA request. Oh, sure, here's your form, no problem. No. Can't be that. No. It has to be, I'm telling you to give me the FOIA form, so you give it to me now because I'm your boss, and I'm telling you, you have to do it because I said so, because I'm your boss, and you're a servant. You're my servant, and you do what I say because I said it, because I'm going like this. So if I go like this, then you have to do whatever I say. You have to bend over backwards, and not only are you going to give me the form, you're going to fill it out for me. That's right. You're going to fill out the form for me because I told you to, because I got the camera. And then somebody else has a camera and films the frauditor. No, cam back, Karen. I'm going to FOIA your footage. Don't you delete that footage. I'm going to cry like a little girl because you filmed me, even though I'm supposedly fighting for the right to film, as long as I'm the one doing the filming. If you're the one doing the filming, then you're just a cam-backing Karen, and get away from me. And how dare you have the audacity to have your First Amendment rights? Nobody has First Amendment rights except for the frauditor. You folks must be desperate to Mark Stout. Well, yeah, he was. Mark Stout is a former frauditor. He actually, understands things, and he did act like an idiot when he was frauditing, and he knows that, and he admits it openly. It's not a secret that he knows how stupid that was. That's why he stopped doing it. Ugh. So, I got this here. I just wanted to do this real quick. because we're at about the halfway point of the show right now. So, oh, blue line body cam. That's funny. Let's see. Oh, no, they always move the goalpost. That's the other thing that frauditors do. They always move the goalpost. Like I always say, obviously we got, a couple people in here that don't watch my show all the time, so maybe they don't know. What these frauditors love to do is move the goalpost and change whatever the goal is, right? So that you can never achieve it. See, this is the problem. They set standards in their own heads of what a cop's job is, of what a public servant's job is, of what the average citizen's job is. It's your job to walk down the street and let me get all up in your business with my camera, but mind your own business. Even though I'm filming your business, you can't ask me why. Because you need to mind your own business. Even though I'm filming your business, you have to mind your own business by not asking me why I'm filming. And then they walk into a building and someone says, you're not supposed to film in here. The first thing they say is, there's no sign saying I can't film. Cool. Put up a sign that says no filming. That sign doesn't override my constitutional right to film. Moving the goalpost. No sign, you need a sign. Sign, that sign doesn't go over my rights. No matter what you do with these guys, you are going to lose. Krampus, what's up? They hide behind the camera. Yeah. They literally hide behind the camera, because if they talk that way to random citizens, which they do, not just cops, not just their slaves, the public servants. Did you know slavery is illegal in this country? But apparently these guys think that slavery is legal, and it's called having a job. So if they're hiding behind the camera, not just literally, but metaphorically as well, because they know most of these guys talking the way they talk to people would get their asses beat probably every day if they weren't hiding behind a camera and people don't want footage of them beating someone up. When I was a kid, if you talk to somebody the way these guys talk to people, you would take a beat down. Easy. But now, I got my camera. You're not going to touch me because I'm going to have it on film, and then I could sue you. And that's all they care about, is having that big lawsuit, getting that big payday. Nothing to do with freedom, nothing to do with rights, nothing to do with government transparency. It's all about trying to lay the foundation for that big, fat, sweet lawsuit money. That comes out of my tax dollars, by the way. If you sue a city or a state, always talking about their wasting tax dollars, you're wasting tax dollars by trying to steal people's tax money through your frivolous lawsuits. Anyway, we're going to take a quick, just 2 minutes for a little palate cleanser, a little bit of humor. Let's see. Oh, that's great, Peck. So yeah, I just thought this was funny, and just a quick little thing just to do something a little different for a minute. And then we'll get back to the stupid. But these jokes are stupid, so it's good.
Someone told me the other day I had a booger in My nose. I said it's not. What word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it? Short. My wife told me to pick up 6 cans of Sprite at the grocery store. When I got home, I realized I'd picked 7 up.
My wallet is just like an onion. Every time I open it, it makes me cry.
What do you call a knight who's afraid to fight?
Huh.
Surrender.
Apparently 30% of owners let their pets sleep in their bed.
Not a good idea, though. I let mine. My goldfish died.
It doesn't matter if you're tall, short, thin, fat, rich, poor. At the end of the day, it's night. Did you know that the first French fries weren't cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece.
What do you think Forrest Gump's password is on his computer? 1 Forrest 1. I started telling everybody about the benefits of eating dry grapes. It's about raising awareness.
Did you know that carrots make great detectives? They always get down to the root of the problem.
I told my wife she needs to embrace her mistakes. So she gave me a hug.
I'm writing a book on reverse psychology. Please don't buy it.
Dang it.
Yesterday, my doctor told me I had 6 months to live. I told him I couldn't pay the bill. So he gave me another 6 months.
That's good. My doctor said I have the peekaboo virus. Sent me straight to the ICU. What word starts with E and ends with E, but only has 1 letter in it? What? Envelope.
Yeah, that's the good stuff right there, boys. Anyway, someone was asking earlier about the new Metallica song. I don't love it, but considering a lot of what they've been doing in the last few years, it's probably, well, it is probably the best thing they've done in a while. Obviously, nowhere near the level of what they were doing in the 80s, but it's a good song. It's good. I gotta listen. It just came out, right? I only listened to it I only listened to it once so far, but I'll definitely have to listen to it a couple more times to get, especially if there's a song where there's a lot of different stuff going on. You gotta give it a few listens to really get the idea of what's all happening. Yeah, it does have. Why did the snowman smile? Why? Is it better than Saint Anger? Well, again, I mean, that's an album. This is just one song. The album isn't out yet, but it is really good. It is a really good song. I love Rick Beato. He's great. Let's see. He saw the snowblower coming. Why did the snowman smile? He saw the snowblower coming. Oh, ATV. Anyway. Thunder. So, I wanted to set the scene with the dad jokes because I wanted to check out this this Vilified Freedom video for you guys. Pot become legal. I think it meant becomes. In Missouri tomorrow. Hey, time to go to St. Louis. Look at that arch. All right, here you go.
call. Doctor says, oh, my is she? He said, I'm sorry, sir, but she is critical. I said, don't worry, you'll get used to that. Well, here we go again. But I'm sure you already knew that by the title of the video.
I'm here at the lobby. Can you send somebody, please? I need to talk to someone. Here at the lobby. At the police station. Hazelden, downtown. I need a report, police report. Mario.
Now answer me this. Why would you start walking through the building when you're waiting for somebody to come down and address you? You just told them you need to talk to somebody. And then the next thing you know, you're wandering on through the building. Why are you fingering all the flyers with your germs?
Yes, sir. For an incident that happened on the 13th, I need a police report.
What incident that happened on 13th?
On that, I was assaulted.
Was this already reported?
Yeah, police was involved.
Who's the officer?
Babula, I think.
Okay, you'll have to talk to him about that case.
So no one can discuss anything about that?
No, only the investigating officer.
What time he be in?
He's on vacation till the beginning of August.
So no one, I have nothing.
If he's already investigating it, there's nothing anybody.
I don't know if he's investigated because.
Do you report it to him?
Well, yeah, he was there.
He talked to you face to face?
Yeah, but he never contacted me, and it's been what, already some days.
Okay.
I'm not here to justify for nobody, but it's only been a couple days. You got a grievance that you want, that's fine. Officer that you need to talk to is on vacation. Officers need a vacation too, you know. Given this officer, your attitude, because you don't feel as if you've covered the ground you need to, is not going to help your cause.
I haven't heard anything from you guys.
That's not the only thing he has going on. I'm sure he has other stuff to deal with too.
Yeah, but what about me? What about me? I need.
You can talk to Officer.
What's your name, Ambassador?
He asks him his name and badge number. Officer gives it to him. Then he calls him an a-hole. I don't know what is wrong with you, but that is not how you get somebody to help you. Clearly, that officer let it dawn on him, you know, what he said, and it sunk in. He's like, wait a minute. What?
I watch your step on this. If you don't want to get arrested, watch your step. I told you what to do, okay?
Go ahead,
That's going to be it.
Go ahead, arrest me. Arrest me. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
City Hall.
What you gonna do? You don't want to do your job.
I gave you.
You don't like to do your job.
I told you what you need
I
to do.
told you.
Out.
Boom.
Roasted.
Go ahead,
Leave.
touch me.
Turn around.
You're assaulting me right now.
No, I'm.
Why are you pushing me? Why are you pushing me?
Listen to me.
Why are you pushing
Listen to
me?
me.
Why are you pushing me?
Stop.
Getting loud does not make you right. Makes you stupid and annoying.
No, I stop nothing.
I told you what you
No,
needed to
sir.
Of course, there's a big chunk of video missing, so now we don't get to hear what he was saying to the officer. We don't get to hear why he went hands-on. All the stuff that we need to hear that's vital to the arrest have been blocked from us. I'm sure we can imagine what was said, but we don't have none of it.
You just broke my camera. Relax.
I'm not resisting.
You don't want to listen.
I'm not resisting.
Okay.
You just broke my camera.
39162 County. I'll be out let that walk in. I'll have one male in custody.
You just made a big mistake, buddy.
Yeah.
You just made a big mistake.
What you need to do.
You just made a big mistake.
Hey, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
You just broke my camera.
Relax.
I'm relaxed. Hey, I already handcuffs. You can let me go. You can let go of me. You can let me.
Listen, do not tell me how to do my job. Okay?
You don't know how to use your job.
Why are you the way that you are?
You just don't know how to use your job.
Talk, right? Relax.
What happened? I got lost for a second. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. My computer gets a little funky sometimes. Anyway, yeah, it was interesting the way he edited the video, to not really tell us what exactly happened. What's up? I am back. Good to see you. Severe Karenitis, yes. So this blue line guy was saying, what is speaking intellectually? Is he still in here? Because I could show him. Yeah, VF is great. He's one of the best. I love that guy. Because David's an idiot, right? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So blue line body cam. Yeah, I do my own original videos, and then on my live streams I look at other videos and sometimes my own, but I don't necessarily want to come up on my channel and just blow my own horn all day. But since you were asking what is speaking intellectually, I'm going to tell you this. Let's see. When beginning the discussion of ID refusal, the easiest argument, and I wrote this, by the way, when beginning the discussion of ID refusal, the easiest argument to debunk is the idea of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The argument being that traveling, as they will always make that fundamentally absurd distinction from driving, is in and of itself an expression of liberty and pursuing happiness. So let's take a look at the first idea, the pursuit of happiness. If, and it is absolutely not, as I will explain in a moment, if that were the law, then where do we draw the line? If a kiddie diddler, for example, finds happiness in diddling kids, does that mean that laws against such actions are a violation of his right to pursue happiness? Now, I suppose one would take that idea and run with it in the direction of, well, such a case that would include injury or harm to the child. To which I've seen, unfortunately, a diddler actually make the claim that because sex is fun and an expression of love, how is there injury or harm to someone when you're just showing them love through pleasure? But even that insane argument becomes implicitly irrelevant because of my next point. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness comes from the Declaration of Independence, not the Constitution, and therefore is not law. The next, somewhat more relevant, yet no less incorrect, is the argument from the Fourth Amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly described by the place being searched and the persons and things being seized. The argument there being, of course, that asking for an ID is a seizure of the ID. This is redefining seizure to fit a false narrative. An officer looking at your ID is not the same as having it seized from you. But even if it were, let's take that argument and say it is indeed a form of seizure. The key phrase in the law is unreasonable. One of the arguments I often hear from those who oppose rational thought is that because every time a cop asks for an ID, someone just hands it over. It has become compulsory behavior to do so and is in essence a deprivation of rights. Another argument I've heard many times is that a cop asking for ID is just the officer trying to bait you into inadvertently admitting to some other non-related crime. This is where the logic of their misuse of the Fifth Amendment comes from, as the Fifth Amendment does not allow you to remain, as the Fifth Amendment does allow you to remain silent. Its purpose is to make it so the government cannot force you by law to say things that will incriminate you in a crime. So, from their point of view, the cop asking for ID is an attempt to trick you into giving up your Fifth Amendment right. And the last, or at least final one I'll address here, is that the whole thing is just a great big money-making extortion scheme. So let's break these down. First and foremost, the unreasonable search and seizure argument. Again, the key word is unreasonable. Now, the basic idea that what is or is not reasonable can indeed be subjective is a valid notion. So let's take a moment and think about the specific reasoning behind asking a driver or a traveler for an ID is truly logically unreasonable to assume that if someone is behind the wheel of an automobile, that they'd have a license to operate such a large and dangerous machine. They will say they have the right to feel secure in their property. Who says it's your property? Without presenting any paperwork of who you are or who owns the property, who's to say it's indeed yours? Not to mention the abundance of arguments that the problem started with the stop itself, that the officer had no reason to pull over the car in the first place, and therefore all of the things I've been talking about become, in their mind, irrelevant because the stop should have never happened in the first place. The problem with such arguments, however, is that under even the smallest amount of scrutiny, it falls apart. When I dig, it is over 90% of the time simply the driver or traveler's opinion that the stop was unlawful. They'll say things like, well, I just had a broken tail light, or my tags were expired, or whatever the case may be. These things are reasons. You may not like the reason, but it is a reason, hence reasonable. The umbrage exhibited by the self-proclaimed defenders of the Constitution is manifest as a direct result of being asked to present their identification in and of itself. Let's take, for example, a situation that I've seen on YouTube, and I won't share the specifics as it's dash cam footage that clearly shows a person being killed and not some made-up imaginary scenario, but a real-life example of how these sort of things do happen. A man was parked in a driveway, a private driveway, and his car was not the same one that's regularly parked in that location. So right there already, the argument from the other side, if it was correct, the officer should have just assumed that the man may be pulled over to take a nap and left him alone. But as the story unfolds, had the officer done that, a murderer would still be roaming the streets. But I'm jumping ahead. There are many reasons an officer should approach a vehicle in this situation. What if the driver pulled over because he was having a medical emergency? One could argue that he was not, but how does the cop know that if they do not investigate? Maybe the guy was lost and stopped to look for directions on his GPS. Great. But how does the cop know that if they don't investigate? In the opposition's worldview, the officer, thinking that perhaps the person is in danger and should try to help, that is indeed the case, is not suspicion of a crime and therefore none of the officer's business. So what? Let him die? Remember Uvalde? The frauditors were all over the police for not running in to save lives. Yet, when an officer does run into a place to save a life, they're going to make the argument that a person's safety is not the police's concern. So what happens next? The officer approaches the car and asks the driver if he's okay. He says yes, he just needed some rest, so he pulled over to take a nap. So here we have a second time that according to their logical arguments, their illogical arguments, had the officer done what they say is their duty without violating rights, it would have led to a murderer getting away. The argument being, as soon as he said he was fine and just napping, the cop should have said, okay, have a good rest, have a nice day, and leave. The officer then committed the most abhorrent violation of civil rights an officer can ever possibly do. She asked for ID. At that moment, the man reached over, grabbed his gun, put it to the officer's chest, and pulled the trigger. The officer, however, was quick enough and aware of her surroundings enough to grab the muzzle and point it down. So that was just an example of what an intellectual conversation sounds like. Because he said something about, what does it sound like to talk intelligently? What's up, Zuzai Quinn? What's up? Let's see. Is Dummy Kruger in the house? Christopher O'Connor. Let's see. Yeah, Dummy Kruger, what's up? Let's see. Who's to say it's not? Is there a stolen vehicle report? Well, the cop doesn't know if they don't investigate, do they? There was nothing intellectual about your rant there? Oh, well, that's good. Well, hey, at least it was original content, right? Let's see. Good to see you, Hez. I'm always late. It's all right, LJ. We're good to have you. Always great to have you here. So anyway, that was just an example of, that there's ways that I can say things without screaming and yelling and hooping and hollering. I could just, actually explain situations from a different point of view. Kind of like this isn't from me. This is from a psychologist named Bernard Golden, talking about hate and anger in general. And I just am applying this to the way frauditors act, and it fits so perfectly because they always hate cops, right? Acts of hate are attempts to distract oneself from feelings such as helplessness, powerlessness, injustice, because they always feel like they're under injustice from the police, inadequacy, and shame. Hate is grounded in some sense of perceived threat. They see the cops as a threat, even if the cop's literally just standing there doing nothing. It's an attitude that can give rise to hostility and aggression towards individuals or groups. Like much of anger, it is a reaction to the distraction from some of their inner pain. The individual consumed by hate may believe that the only way to regain some sense of power over his or her pain is to preemptively strike out at others. In this context, each moment of hate is a temporary reprieve from their inner suffering. If that is not a description of a frauditor, I don't know what is. Kim's like, that sounded smart to me. Yeah. Well, Blue Line Body Cam, he's obviously just like any of these guys, going to disagree with anything you say, no matter what it is, right? And always deny it because that's what they do, right? Hey, you need a driver's license. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Well, just because you say you don't doesn't mean you don't. Like, of course you do. Anyway, I wanted to play this video because I'm going to start it at a certain point. And before I do, I want you to really pay attention to how immediately it's painting this picture of this police officer. What's up, Dino? Dino? I just think of Dino attacking Fred in the Flintstones. I know you are, but what am I? Yeah, exactly. That's their attitude, right? I know you are, but what am I? You're the only one who seems angry. All right. Let me tell you something, Blue Line Body Cam. When I see something like a frauditor filming a guy who's trying to he's trying to jump, and the police actually talk him down, and then he sees the frauditor, it says, whoa, I don't want this guy filming me, man. Now, here's a guy who is in the middle of a crisis, a mental health crisis, who's ready to die for it, finally getting calmed down, being re-upset by some idiot with the camera, and the police, in fact, it was a random citizen who nicely asked him, please don't film this guy. You're obviously making him more upset, refusing to stop filming because it's my right to film whatever I can see. I can film. No empathy, no sympathy, no decency, no respect. These guys deserve disdain and they deserve anger because they're scumbags. So, yeah, I get a little angry when I see stuff like that. Casey Camera Boy, Silence Boy, walking up not to police, not to public servants, literally random people on the street. Hey, you piece of shit. Hey, you scumbag. Hey, what's up, bitch? Hey, screw you, asshole. I got a camera, so you're not going to do nothing. SGV News, going to church with Pedo Libre audits every Sunday morning to audit a church. What does that have to do with government transparency? What does that have to do with freedom? What does that have to do with rights? Auditing a church. And then if somebody from the church has the audacity to say, why are you filming? How do they answer them? Oh, Shama Mahala, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh, and then pepper spray the guy. Yeah, these guys don't deserve any anger because they're such good, wonderful citizens that are out there fighting for our freedom. No, they're pricks who found out that there's a way on YouTube to get paid to film yourself being a prick. That's what it is. That's what frauditing is all about. Hey, look, there's all these guys on the internet who are getting paid to film themselves being assholes. I'm an asshole, so let me go out there and get paid to film myself being an asshole. People's feelings should dictate our actions. So, okay. All right. So you think Vilified's in the house. What's up, brother? So this Blue Line Body Cam guy, he's going nuts. So this argument that we should let people's feelings dictate our actions, Thank you so much, Vilified. What's up? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Bingo. Ooh, that's a bingo. All right. Yes, exactly. Should we let other people's feelings dictate our actions? That's not the point. It's about being a human being who lives in a society that involves other human beings and having common courtesy and common decency, common respect and empathy. Like, it's not about, if you feel bad, I'm going to, in the modern world, okay, because I try not to get into like politics and all this other stuff while we're going here, but since we're talking about feelings dictating actions, right? So this whole thing, and it's not about, I'm not going to get into specifics, opinions about agreeing or disagreeing, just as an example of feelings and opinions and, the difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying, okay? What you're talking about is more along lines of the whole pronoun situation, right? Like, some dude comes up to me and says, "You got a light?" And I turn around and I say, "Yeah, man, no problem." Because I said man and he identifies as a woman, now I am a violent offender because I use the incorrect pronoun. Like, that is getting to the point of what you're saying, feelings dictating actions. Okay. Now, again, it isn't about agreeing or disagreeing with that idea. It's just an example of what you're trying to create this picture of when you make that statement. Oh, you're supposed to just let other people's feelings dictate your actions? That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're a compassionate human who lives in a society with other humans, if you have empathy for people, if you see someone who's literally having a nervous breakdown, who's literally having a mental health breakdown, that's having some horrible situation, if somebody's laying on the ground bleeding because they just got beat up. I saw a frauditor frauding a girl whose boyfriend beat her up, and he's filming her, and she's crying and bleeding and saying, "Please don't film me," and he's refusing to stop. That's taking it a little bit beyond, like, "Oh, what's the matter? Your feelings are going to dictate my actions." Well, come on. It isn't about other people's feelings trying to control your actions. It's about having basic human decency, basic human compassion. It's not about being a snowflake. That's not the point. The point is, there's a line. Whether you like that line or not, it is there. And if you cross it, then you're just a scumbag. Like, you don't want people's feelings to control your actions, and you don't care what people feel. Well, I feel that you guys are scumbags. How about that? That's not going to change your actions? Fine, but I have the right to feel that. Just like you have the right to be an asshole. So go ahead, keep doing it. Have fun. And here we go. This is this guy right here, Debos. So here's another great example of the games that idiots love to play, right? It's always the same thing. This is the thing that Rogue Nation is an expert at, right? Hey, for example, hey, there's a lady who's typing on her computer, and you walk in and you see her typing, and you say, may I have a FOIA form? And she hands you the form. It's all good. But that's not what happens, is it? No. It becomes this big, huge thing where you're going to tell her, you got to do what I say because I said it, and you got to fill out the form for me, and all of this and all of that. And then I say, okay, why is it okay for you to treat her that way? Why is it okay for you to start calling this lady names and insulting her? So what's the answer? Well, there was that cop who killed that guy that time. All right, but what does that have to do with what you guys are doing? This is what he just did. It's exactly the same thing, right? You take these things that are false equivalencies where you justify your actions based on other people's actions. The only thing in the universe you or me or anyone in this chat or anyone on the planet has any control over at all is their own actions. All right? So coming on here and telling me that it's okay for you to insult people and disrespect people and be rude to people because a couple of cops did that to somebody once. How does that correlate? That's a false equivalency. You acting bad because someone else acted bad once. Blah. Vilified, that would be an honor. Email me. I'll put it. It's Hezokuai at gmail.com. All right. I would love that. Two wrongs don't make a right. That is exactly right. And that's the whole point. They always do that. They always turn around and, the cops did this once and the government did that once and this and that. Okay. But I'm asking you why you're doing bad things, why you're being a jackwagon, right? Mine is douche canoe. I'm moving on with that. You got jackwagon, I got douche canoe, but I still use jackwagon too. New York has a Freedom of Information law or FOIL. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute. Don't say anything in the chat. Do not correct him. I want to see, because he wants to talk to me about how I'm not intellectual at all. I'm giving you one more chance to fix that. Let's see if you can fix that, or if you really honestly don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyway, the Freedom of Information Act is a thing. It's a thing. Yes. But so what? That's like audit them. I gotta get my FOIA, I gotta get my FOIA, right? My tinfoil hat. Like, why is that such a major thing for these guys? Like, if they were doing, I know what you meant, Blue Line, but the point is that it's about the FOIL or FOIA or whatever you want to call it, depending on which state you're in and their specific, right? He said FOIL because Freedom of Information Law, as opposed to Freedom of Information Act, which is FOIA, right? But the point is that just because you can FOIA information, right? Well, here, let me pull it back for a minute. Here's the thing, all right? Let's talk about this realistically. What I actually see, not the idea, of what a FOIA is or how it works, okay? It's this idea that I've seen so many times where someone will walk into a building to request a FOIA. You get a Freedom of Information form. And that's why they went there, is to get the form. That's their excuse. That's their legitimate business reason to be in a non-traditional public forum filming. Okay? So obviously they know about the non-traditional forum laws. I mean, there are some who don't, and they just go in, get trespassed, and it's over, and we laugh at them for being stupid. But there's some of them that actually do know the law. So they went in the building to conduct legitimate business while filming. And that legitimate business was to request a FOIA. They walk into the building, and the people who work there say, "Are you filming me?" And always they immediately turn it into some kind of First Amendment rights argument as opposed to just talking to them, right? And then they request their FOIA for the people who they interacted with when they came in the building. The false narrative is the reason they went into the building was to request FOIA forms. But they're requesting FOIA forms on the people that they came into contact with when they entered the building. So how could you walk in there to get information for people you haven't even come into contact with yet? How could you come, like, it's obvious. It's so blatantly obvious that it's garbage. But we're all just supposed to believe it. And we're all just supposed to take their false narrative and accept that, you know, these guys are legitimate journalists that are there. Because this is the thing, all right? The beauty of something like FOIA is the fact that if you are a legitimate journalist, even an independent journalist, you could say, hey, wait a minute. I saw this and that, and I did the math, and the numbers didn't add up. Maybe somebody's skimming off the top. I have some ideas of some people doing something. I'm going to get some FOIA and then actually do some like investigative journalism, right? But just walking into a place, harassing everyone who works there, and then requesting FOIAs on all the people you harassed because you didn't like the fact that they did not servants follow your commands, follow your directives, follow your orders because they're your servants and you're their boss and you pay their salary because they didn't do that. You're going to retaliate by FOIA-ing their information. It's insane. No, they're not journalists. They'll never be journalists. They're bungholes, butt cracks, and douche canoes. So with that being said, I'm going to go back to the video I was about to show where this video, the guy, well, you'll see what happens, but what I really kind of want to point out, because again, when you're watching their video, you're seeing their false narrative, right? So I want to make it clear that what I'm looking at is when he talks about how this officer is giving him such a horrible, terrible attitude, and how dare she speak to a citizen in that tone. Forget all that. Forget him trying to sell us on the idea that she's being horrible, and look at the way she's acting to see if it actually is horrible. No, I'm having fun. Sometimes I like, addressing the trolls in the room. As long as, like I always say, as long as they don't literally cross the line into like sexism or racism or stuff like that. And, you know, the fact that he was talking about the fact that I'm overweight, whatever. I haven't heard that one before. You know, whatever. You want to attack me? Fine. Don't attack anyone else. I don't care. Because that just proves and I say this every day, right? Whenever you get into an argument with these guys, they don't have an argument because they're wrong, so they go to insults. So that just makes me feel even better and more confident in my argument, because all you got is insults. Let's hear some actual intellectual debate. No, you ain't got none. So whatever. So let's see. Let me get this on the screen. Boom. There we go. Check this out.
Car. Okay. What's going on? We huddling? Don't worry about it. All right, I'm going to need your name and badge number. Which side would you like me to approach? In the middle here or on this side? Thank you for having an American flag on your uniform. I appreciate
You're very welcome,
that.
sir. So what can I do you
What's
for?
your name and badge number?
I'm Officer Brighini with the Alexandria Police Department.
Okay, what's your badge number?
2612.
Okay, great. And what don't I need to worry about?
This is police business right now. You don't need to worry about what's going on. It doesn't involve you.
Okay, well, I'm seeing 4 cars in my neighborhood.
Okay.
You think it's professional to say don't worry about it? Or you
Yes,
think it's professional to say we have an incident or we're just catching up on reports? It wasn't very professional to say don't worry about it. It was very dismissive.
Because it's a police.
All right, can I get your name and badge number?
Sure, Sergeant Cunha, badge number.
Yeah, maybe it's none of your
Are you her
business,
supervisor?
buddy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm done with you. So I approached her. I just said, hey, what's going on? I'm filming. She says, don't worry about it. And I asked her for her name and badge number. Then there's this whole, all on camera, super slow, moving, take my time. It's all a show of disrespect. Is it respectful when a citizen in their neighborhood is concerned about 4 police cars asking and she says, don't worry about it? Is that professional behavior?
Well, what is the initial concern as far as?
I live in this neighborhood. I see 4 police vehicles huddled over here.
Okay.
I come over. I'm wondering if is there a public safety concern? Has there been a theft? Has there been any crime? And so I ask her, and she says, "Don't worry about it. Police business. Don't worry about it." Is that what you said?
Yeah, I told you didn't need to worry about it because you were involved.
Yeah. Did you do it with attitude? Remember, you're on camera. Did you do it with attitude?
It depends on if you believe I have attitude.
I'm asking you. Did you do it with attitude? Not, you don't need to protect her. I'm asking you a question.
Are you done with me or not?
I'm not done with you. Did you give it with attitude? You're on camera.
Go back and
So you're protecting her? She
I'm
mistreated a citizen, and now you're running interference.
I'm also not going to have you belittle her.
I'm belittling her?
You are. So here.
I'm belittling her by asking her questions. That's a false narrative.
You said you.
Now I need your.
How ironic. One of the masters of building a false narrative is accusing the cops of building a false narrative. It almost makes me think that he's been watching my videos. And the fact that he put feelings police on the screen while all he's doing is yapping about she hurt his feelings by giving him attitude. They don't see their own stupidity. They don't see their own irony. And yes, I do see the irony of the fact that I said that all these guys have is insults while I'm just sitting here insulting them. But guess what? I can have and literally wrote a book about these guys. I've broken down and seen a million other creators break down on an intellectual level specifically and exactly why they're wrong. And we all know it, right? But I'm here to call them out on their stupidity blatantly because they've earned the disdain. Their actions and the way they treat the general public is so absolutely abhorrent that they deserve every inch of spite that they get. They've earned it. And they give it. They give it in droves, by the truckload. They pour derision on everyone they come into contact with, not just cops, not just servants, but normal citizens, everyone. They deride, they pepper spray, they swear, they yell, they insult, everything and anything they can to make a confrontation so that their video will get more likes and more views. And if you don't believe me, check out Ironton Auditor. Now, you might say, well, he doesn't have any followers and he doesn't have 1 million views on his channel. Exactly. He cop watches, and he doesn't purposely go out of his way to cause a negative interaction, so he doesn't get a ton of views, which is just proof that the only reason these guys do it is to cause a negative reaction, instigating it intentionally for YouTube clout. They're trying to make a stupid YouTube video and get clicks and views, and that's all they care about. They don't care about freedom. They don't care about rights. They don't care about people. They really don't care about people at all. These are antisocial narcissists, all right? And they're looking for trouble and getting it and then complaining. My favorite is when they say, oh, I don't know why you're bothering me. I'm just here working on a story. That's such BS, because their interaction with the cops is the story they're working on. You shouldn't be here because I'm just working on a story. But them being there is the story. It's so frustrating because it's so blatantly obvious, transparent BS, and yet they just keep doing it. They just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And I pointed this out too the other day on my stream. I was talking about how these guys will say, why are you filming? Well, because I'm allowed to film. Well, because it's legal for me to film. Well, if that's true, if the only reason you're doing it is so that is because you're allowed to do it, then how come you're not doing other things you're allowed to do? You're allowed to be polite. You're allowed to show empathy. You're allowed to show respect. Those things are all legal. If the only reason you're doing it is because it's legal, why aren't you doing that? Are they working on a story or no? Here's the point. It's not that they're working on a story. That's the issue. Whether or not they're working on a story, it's that they are the story. They're creating the story. They say, I'm an independent journalist, but a journalist doesn't create a story. They find a story and they cover it. If they see a water main break, if they see somebody got mugged, if they see something like that, that's a story. They'll cover it. These guys walk into a post office where there's nothing happening, just people doing what you do at a post office, sending packages or whatever, or receiving packages, filling out forms, buying envelopes and stamps. That's not a story. They're not there to cover that. They're there to create a story. They are the story. They make themselves the story. Are they working on a story? Technically, yeah, but they're not working on a story. They're working on creating a story. Yeah, you're allowed to jump off a cliff. Why don't you do that? Because you're allowed to do it. And okay, now wait, let me address this as well. All right. And although I do definitely agree with Unclean Hands on that idea, for me specifically, I have a very specific idea in my head of the line between what I consider an auditor and what I consider a frauditor. That's why I use the term frauditor, because I don't necessarily have an issue with an actual auditor. If it's a legitimate auditor, there are legitimate auditors. It is a thing. It does exist. I don't have a problem with that. That's why I use the word frauditor, because that's who I'm against. So to say that I just put all auditors in the same boat, I mean, if you're going to take that statement literally, then, tax assessment auditors, right? Anyone who audits anything. The guy, when I worked at years and years and years ago, I used to work at the Best Buy. And every year, once a year, the auditors would come in to count all the product and to do the math to figure out, the profits and the that's an auditor, right? So auditors, just the idea of an auditor in and of itself is not what I'm against. It's frauditors that I hate. Well, they definitely are self-proclaimed auditors. That is a fact. First Amendment auditors are just a internet thing. It has nothing to do with anything real. And that's it. And I've actually seen, there's a guy, I covered him in one of my videos a little bit because he's not an auditor at all or a cop watcher. What the heck was his name? It's like New York State or something. No. Anyway, there's this one particular guy that I've talked about. Again, I only mentioned him in one video because I was giving an example of how these guys always claim to be independent journalists. And of course, they're not. But this one particular guy, and I wish I could remember his name right now. I could look it up, but it doesn't really matter because the point is that what he does is he drives around with the camera in his car looking for actual newsworthy events to cover. And if it is something that involves the police, he'll film it. And then afterwards, he'll talk to people, like actual interviews with people, not yelling at them, not screaming at them, not accusing them of violating his rights, but asking them, oh, what happened? Oh, well, there was a car accident here. Oh, well, what did you see? Oh, well, and actually interviewing people. And he ends up getting to talk to the cops and the witnesses and the whole thing. Some of his footage actually does end up being used on the legitimate nightly news because he's yes, he's in New York. He's a legitimate independent journalist, but he doesn't do what these guys do. He doesn't insert himself into the situation. He doesn't scream and yell and holler at people. He just talks to people. See the difference? None of the so-called journalists are published. Well, again, that's why I'm trying to remember this guy's name because, like I said, some of the stuff he films actually ends up on the nightly news. He sells some of his footage to legitimate news outlets, and they use his footage on the nightly news sometimes. Let me look it up real quick because I know which video I did where I talked about him. So let me pull it up because then I can remember his name. I don't know why. I just can't think of it right now. It's driving me nuts. But This is my oh wait, it's Christmas time, right? Oh, you know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donder and Blitzen. Oh, but do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Hey, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you'd even say it glows. You know what? Here's what I'm actually. Yes, LLNNYC. Yes, yes, yes. That's him. Thank you, Cliff. That is exactly what that is. Yeah, and actually, I was just gonna. What I'm gonna do, because I do think it is relevant to the point I'm trying to make. I'm actually going to show a little bit of the video where I did talk about him so that you guys who aren't familiar with him could really see what I'm talking about when we talk about an actual legitimate independent journalist. This is from my video, the Frauditor Iceberg Part 1. There is a Part 2 on my channel. Let's see. Let me get that up there and maximize. All right, here we go. Check this out.
Alan Newcastle sits alone watching YouTube videos on his computer when suddenly he hears an all too familiar cry for help. There is no expectation of privacy in public. There's no need to fear. Hezokuai is here.
Unclean hands, you're a freaking genius.
In the modern world, where almost everyone has access to a video camera through their phone and most people have their phone with them at all times, it seems only natural that it would become much more difficult for police or any other government officials to engage in any sort of unnecessary violence or illicit public activity without someone having the opportunity to capture video evidence. The desire to capture such activity on video and thus to create greater government accountability is prominent among the fundamental philosophies of the First Amendment audit. However, the movement has managed to grow and morph itself into a hodgepodge community of YouTubers, very few of which actually care about creating any sort of accountability within the government. It is dominated instead by a ragtag group of former criminals, adrenaline junkies, and those who view the movement as nothing more than an easy way to get paid for being a jerk. Today, we take a look at the good, the bad, and the absolutely despicable dregs that make up the First Amendment auditing community using the iceberg format. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see some of the best and some of the worst of what many of us now refer to as frauditors. On its surface, increased transparency for government agencies and their employees seems like a no-brainer. After all, no one wants to find that their tax dollars are being used to pay someone a ridiculous salary to sit behind their desk playing video games or posting on Facebook or the like. Wasted tax dollars does in fact seem to be of great concern to many of these audits, the basic idea being that they're auditing what our tax dollars are being spent on. As with transparency on the surface, being able to hold government employees accountable for their actions seems to be a fundamental ingredient to the continued operation of a fair and just government. By filming the actions of said government employees, the stated goal of the auditor is to increase the level of transparency. Civil rights are key to the idea of an audit, with the primary focus on the First Amendment, hence its namesake, First Amendment audit. Freedom of speech, press, and assembly are indeed asserted by most auditors during their audits, with freedom of religion being mostly ignored. In fact, as you'll see as we get deeper into the iceberg, many on the frauded end of things love to audit churches. The foremost among these rights is freedom of the press. It's the freedom of the press coupled with freedom of speech that has allowed the auditing community to flourish, and which has allowed the deepest, most dreadful sections of the iceberg to exist. In order to invoke their First Amendment right to free press, auditors will always insist that they're independent journalists working on a story. Although this is almost never true, there are indeed several legitimate independent journalists engaged in the First Amendment audit. This is LLN NYC. And although this young man is in no way associated with the First Amendment auditing community, I'd like to start by showing some clips from his channel to illustrate how a legitimate independent journalist differs from an auditor. Notice, for example, how he maintains a reasonable distance from the scene without having to been asked to do so, and how he also doesn't scream at the cops and distract them from what they're doing. And now he's about to zoom in using his zoom lens, not by physically moving closer to the scene. After a few more minutes of filming the scene, he actually legitimately interviews witnesses.
All right, guys, live in the area?
Yeah, like I live.
Reaction to this corrections officer.
I live. It's another guy. I live right around the corner. It's kind of weird to see like something like this happen right around the corner because we were just going to the bodega and we had no idea this was happening.
Ever seen anything like this before?
No, never. Not in Astoria. Like I think it's supposed to be a good neighborhood, but you know,
shootings and stuff like that.
Never seen this. This is crazy.
This next clip illustrates how he's actually filming something for a story. It begins with him filming the street that it happened on so he could report on the exact location, and then he films a water main break. All right, so now he goes out for a few more minutes, getting some more footage of the water main leaking. And it might seem like, okay, so how's this guy supposed to be a legitimate journalist versus what the auditors do other than he's just standing there filming stuff? Well, let's take a look at where the water main footage he took ended up.
Part of Paramus plunged underwater this morning after a 36-inch water main broke overnight. Eyewitness News reporter Crystal Cranmore is live in Paramus as crews are trying to work to fix that main. Crystal?
Good morning, Ken. Yeah, that water main break flooded several parking lots along Route 4 here in Paramus. At this point, Veolia Water Company is here trying to quickly repair that break. Let's go ahead and look at this video. The 36-inch water main break started a little after midnight, turning the area into
All right. Once again, David, I love you, man, but you're obviously not paying attention. The whole point of me showing this, yes, it's not an audit, but it is legitimate independent journalism. Auditors always claim to be an independent journalist. This is an independent journalist. I'm illustrating the difference between an independent journalist and a random idiot.
a raging river. Crews closed Spring Valley Road between Trinity Court and Brookfield Avenue as they try to shut the main. Now, the water has been flowing toward nearby residential communities. Local police departments taking to social media to let residents here in Paramus and Rochelle Park know to expect low water pressure this morning. Now, at this point, it is unclear just how many customers are affected. We are waiting word from Veolia Water Company in terms of when water can be fully restored. Now, we're live in Paramus. Crystal Cranmore, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Now, frauditors always say when people ask them why they're filming and who they're filming for, after they say, well, I'm a journalist working on a story, when people ask them when or where the story is going to be published, they'll never tell you. They'll never say, because it never gets published. We're always waiting for the story and we never see it. Sure, they put the stuff on their YouTube channels, but this is a journalist filming something for journalism and getting it published through a legitimate news source, a legitimate independent journalist doing legitimate independent journalism. So now that we know what that looks like, let's start to dig a little deeper into the iceberg and see how it all begins to go downhill. The tip of the iceberg. An audit, in and of itself, is not a bad idea. In fact, quite the opposite. However, it's the way in which the audit is being conducted, not the audit itself, that has become a problem.
No, hold on. No, you can get the fuck out of here now.
Okay, well, what are you doing here?
You too.
That's about what we needed. So first of all, I'm not taking
you too.
orders
If you
from-
doubt you touch me, this is your final warning for both of you. I'm a pepper spray you asses.
Have I touched you yet?
I'm a pepper spray you asses if you touch me.
Did I touch
Do you understand that?
Did I touch
Do you understand that?
No,
you were trying to. You were trying to.
No, I was
You're
trying to touch
lucky.
your
You're
camera.
lucky. You're lucky.
Well, nobody touched you.
A reasonable, well thought out, properly conducted audit can and does exist. However, it is unfortunately quite rare. One of the more popular forms of auditing is called cop watching. It is, at its best, quite literally that, watching cops. However, at its worst, becomes cop baiting, which we'll cover more detail as we move further down the slippery slope of stupidity yet to come. This clip is from Ironton Auditor. He began auditing when he unwittingly fell into the clutches of an infamous frauditor con artist known as Delete Laws. It did not take long, however, for Ironton Auditor to realize he was being duped, and has since shifted his attention to legitimate cop watching.
Looks like Patrolman Blankenship, and I'm not sure who the other officer is yet. It is also Patrolman Blankenship. Working on the scene tonight. Try to stay off the personal information here. If I can keep it burning down here. He's calling it out pretty loud over the radio there, so I'm trying to walk away, guys. That's the only reason. I don't want to dox anybody. Don't need no personal information on here.
He rolled through a stop sign back here. Just performed a traffic stop, just to kind of see what's up.
Freedoms are like muscles. If you don't use them, you lose them, is a common auditor phrase. However, both LLNNYC and Ironton Auditor are shining examples of how to flex your freedoms without being an obnoxious, overbearing, narcissist dolt, which leads us to the next level. Beneath the surface, challenging public officials. As we begin our descent, we find ourselves immediately within the realm of the frauditors, not content to simply film interactions with public officials, but challenging them, challenging their authority, challenging their knowledge, challenging their ability to complete simple tasks, and insisting that because they have chosen a career in public service, they must now kowtow to the person with the camera's demands right away, following their directives to the letter, and never in any way even hinting at the fact that they may feel uncomfortable being recorded. Any discussion at all about policy, protocol, or procedure is instantly shut down as incorrect and or irrelevant. Such dialogue is often followed by a barrage of insults, threats of lawsuits, and insisting on supervisors taking disciplinary action against the hapless employee.
Yes. Stop being silly. I came for public records. Can you please fulfill it? I need public records.
I don't appreciate being on your...
Find a job in the private sector then. This is a public service.
Okay, but I still have rights. And I also...
You have duties right now.
And you're reporting me as a female, and I don't appreciate that, so...
Listen, I'm a feminist and I don't appreciate you using the female card, okay?
Someone will be down with you.
Okay, I just need you to take my records request. It's that simple. I'll be right out of here once you do. I got a call about this place because of the same situation.
So what happened? He said, I need a public records request. So she immediately took her phone and pressed the button for the guy who does the public records request to come and help him. Like, what does he want her to do? It's not her job to take public records requests. She called the guy who does. What's the problem? He's going to turn it into a federal case. Anyway, yeah, Vilified. That's why he's the getting down, right? The whole thing with the iceberg videos is the further you go down the iceberg, the worse, right? So that's why he was starting to go down. And as I go down, eventually when I hit bottom on part 2 at the end, I got like SGV News and Casey Cameraboy and people like that. Public record, a blank sheet of paper and a crayon. Yeah. Yes, that's the thing. They think that working in public means that you have to, but this is the other argument why all of a sudden it drives me nuts, because they always say that, right? Well, if you don't want to be filmed, get a job in the private sector and then no one will film you. But what happens if you get a job in the private sector? You got DMA walking into libraries. You got Silence Boy walking down the street. You got NC Tyrant Hunter going to literally just random businesses. Amagansett Press, same thing. They're filming banks. They're filming jewelry stores. They're filming random businesses, truck stops. So you can't work anywhere and be safe from these guys. Like the whole, well, you get a job in the private sector thing then doesn't work, because auditors are auditing private sector jobs too now. Like that is a thing now. So you're not safe anywhere. These idiots just want to film everything. And again, if you don't like being filmed, it can't be because you don't like being filmed. This goes back to the whole false narrative. And one of the reasons why these guys are such jackwagons, because it can't be that you don't like being filmed because you don't like being filmed. It has to be because you're trying to hide something. You're in on some kind of government conspiracy and you don't want me to find it with my camera. And the other thing with that point is every reason why anyone doesn't like being filmed always has to be something bad. I've seen a video. I've seen more than one, but I've seen one in particular where I'll just say it. It was Josh Abrams. It was an Accountability for All video, right? There's a woman who basically, we don't know the specifics of it, but ultimately it's a woman who either has some kind of stalker or maybe an ex-boyfriend that's looking for her, an ex-husband or something. We don't know the specifics of what it is, but there's someone who she specifically feels in danger and does not want to be on film, posted on YouTube for the whole world to see, so that whoever it is that's after her can find her. So the Frauditor filming her after she asked not to be filmed made her cry, made her quit her job, and he laughs about it. I actually made her cry. Oh, it's so hilarious that she's so afraid of a camera. It's not the camera. It's the cameraman. And where that information could potentially end up is what she's afraid of. And the fact that it did end up on YouTube is horrible. Because at the end of the video, because anyone who's familiar with Josh Abrams and his work knows that if you actually sit down and get into a conversation with him, he will flat out say that when I'm doing my audits, I'm playing a character. And if you actually talk to him out of character, he actually seems like a decent person. This is one of the reasons why I think that him and Masshole kind of teamed up against Chili a little bit. But if that was 100% true, he would have never posted that video. He would have never put it up, because even at the end of that very video, he says, oh, yeah, I think there's something wrong with her. I think I actually really upset her, trying to play like he has some kind of empathy for her. But if he really did, he would not have posted it, or he would have blurred her face out. But he didn't. Nope. Didn't happen. And you guys that are pro frauditors want us to give them some empathy, some sympathy, some respect. You get what you give, man. And anyway, AFA went up 2 bra sizes over the last month. I love it. Anyway, I want to, hey, Vilified, since you're here, and I am back. I didn't say hello to you earlier. What's up? I am back. Blanche, I don't remember if I said hi to you. Hello. Vilified, did you see my cards? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say my cards? Because if not, I want to show you yours. I don't remember if I showed you or not. I know Unclean actually ordered a set, but I don't remember if you've seen them. Broken System, Broken Trust is he's trash. I've been on his panel a couple times. He knows me. He purposely goes out of his way to call me Hezokuai. Hey, Hezokuai. What's up, Hezokuai? And he always says it with like such disdain. Broken System. That guy, ugh. But I've had some conversations with him that went okay, but I mean, whatever. So VF, again, did you see my cards that I made? Do you know what I'm talking about? Because if not, I want to show you. I got one for you. Let's see. Unclean Hands and Vilified Live. Your channels also love. You meant love, I think. Love their channels. They were talking about your game last stream. Oh, okay. All right. So he does know. All right, cool. I didn't remember if I told him about him or if he saw him. I can't stand Broken System, Broken Trust, and not so let's present that he showed it. Yes. So that's what I'm talking about. The last time I was on Broken System, Broken Trust stream, I showed up there because he was talking trash about KFAR, and I showed up there to kind of challenge him on that. The problem was he also had Wolverine Transparency on, and anyone who knows Wolverine Transparency knows that if he's on panel, you're not going to get a word in edgewise. I'm trying to talk to BSABT, and he's just like going on and on and on and on about everything else, complaining about cops doing this and people do, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to talk to BSBT about the fact that he actually showed up at KFAR's house, and of course he just blah, 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 blah. So whatever. Why did BSBT go to KFAR's house? Okay, David, here's the thing. There is a lot of history between Broken System and KFAR. A while ago, I mean, this was like way back. KFAR was doing a stream where he was talking about Broken System, and he said basically, from watching Broken System's videos and seeing like the area. Like if we lived in the same neighborhood and I had no idea who you were and you had no idea who I was, but I saw your videos and I saw in the background all the buildings and all the landmarks of where we live, I'd be like, oh, you live right down the street, right? So that's basically what happened. It wasn't that Kfar was like threatening him or trying to dox him or anything like that. He said, hey, look, I could tell that we live close to each other. So I want to, and Kfar was being legit. He's like, dude, I legitimately want to help you. Like, I can help you get a real job. I know people in the area. If you're legitimately trying to get back on your feet so that you can, get your daughter back, which is his big thing or whatever, or, no, I'm sorry. That's a whole nother thing. The daughter back thing that's what's his name? Anyway, I didn't mean to say daughter back, but the point is, Kfar was legitimately offering to help the guy out, but he took it as an insult. Like, oh, you're trying to say you know where I live? Oh, you're threatening me? Oh, you're telling me that I don't have a job and I can't work? And he took it completely the wrong way, like it was some big major insult. And that's originally how the beef started. So then he comes on talking crap about Kfar. So, of course, Kfar responds. And then he responds to what Kfar said. And then Kfar responds to what he said. And it starts going back and forth and building up to the point where BSBT and Wolverine Transparency decide to dox Kfar and actually show up at his house to audit him at his home. And it's like, all right, once you're getting to that point, that's something completely different. Because I've said it a bunch of times, okay? If you go through my history here, I've had Direct D up here. I've had Rogue Nation up here several times. I've been on Audit Them's panel. I've been on BSBT's panel. I've tried, and I'm done trying because you can't have a conversation with these guys. You can't do it. But I've made the attempt. I've tried. I've extended the olive branch, okay? And they just want to grab it and crack it and throw it in your face. All right. But what happens is I could sit here and talk about your videos. Okay. In a sense, what I do, what Vilified does, what Unclean does, what we all do is ultimately, because we're talking now like within terms of like fair use or whatever, right? No different than like what a film critic does. We watch your video and put commentary on what we see in the video that's posted to the public on YouTube. Okay? We're commentary channels. That's what it comes down to. But if a critic says that he doesn't like the new Quentin Tarantino movie, Quentin Tarantino doesn't show up at his freaking house. Like, once you make it literally personal, that's way crossing the line. And saying, well, you're attacking these guys personally by calling them stupid because we're commenting on the way that they're treating the people in the videos. And we're saying, look, you're going around calling these people tyrants. You're calling these people servants. You're telling them they need to do this and they need to do that. Sometimes they are literally swearing at them, cursing them out, calling them names, all that. Like when you get into like freaking media and SGV News and Casey Camera Boy and Silence Boy, they're flat out just being jerks and straight up, not even shy or shameful about it on any level. No shame, right? So we're calling them out on that. That's all. And like I said, on an actual human level, you want to sit down and have a conversation with me? Again, I've attempted to do that a million times and it never works, but fine. You want to be a human and talk to me like a human, that's one thing. But we're talking about entertainment. We're talking about videos. We're talking about YouTube. We're not talking about me and you physically going at it. You show up at my house, you're crossing the line. That's different. That's real. And that's when you are going to get folded up. That is when you're going to take a beating. That's when somebody like KFAR's like, well, hey, you get on my property, I got a gun. What's up? Like, oh, it's so frustrating with these people. You're invited to my house anytime, Hez. David, see, this is one of the reasons why you're always here every morning. And like, even though you and Unclean go back and forth with you getting timed out and all that, the fact of the matter is, when it comes down to the reality, based on everything that we've talked about, and especially because of some of the stuff, like when you've emailed me, like when we've talked offline, it seems to me like, I mean, I still don't know ultimately if you're just kind of trolling, like for fun, but you obviously are doing it for fun. But if you really believe in all this, but I do think that you're the kind of person that if we met in real life, we'd probably get along fine. Disagree? Fine. People can disagree on things. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a lot of friends that we have completely different views on religion or politics or whatever, or this or that. But I don't judge them based on they have a different opinion. And guess what? This is my platform, right? This is my opportunity for me to get up on my soapbox and say what I'm thinking. But when it comes to engaging with other people, I've never learned anything by talking. I've learned by listening. And I will hear what they have to say. Even if I disagree with it, I will take into consideration their argument. All right? So it's not about just, I'm going to, again, this is my channel, right? This is my soapbox. This is my stream. I'm going to do my thing. That's what I'm here for. That's what all these people are here for. They obviously want to hear what I have to say because they come here every single morning, right? But at the same time, once, it gets to somebody actually trying to tell me something, even if it's on the other side, okay, let's hear what you got to say, brother. Maybe I might learn something. Maybe you might make a point that I say, oh, I never thought of it that way. But this is why I became so frustrated with me talking to these guys. And the final straw for me, after I talked to so many of them, was when I was on Paul Unslaved's stream, and I realized that every single time, it wasn't just that one, but it was after every single time of doing that, getting to that point, I realized that I will listen to everything they have to say and be open to the fact that I might actually learn something from them. But they are never, ever going to be open to the possibility that they might learn something. They're always trying to educate everybody about their interpretation of the law. They're always trying to educate everybody on how to do their job. But ultimately, it's all bullshit. Sorry, but it is. And they won't listen. They won't listen. They don't listen. They won't. They have their opinion, and that's it. Well, that's what I'm saying, Unclean, is that after that time that I talked to Paul Unslaved, I think I'm pretty much done with with talking to these guys on their panels because they don't want to learn. I'm willing to learn. I will sit there and listen to them talk all day. But once I say something, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't care. I'll tell you what. It's not about the insults. It's about the argument or lack thereof. What happened was I was on the panel and we were having a decent discussion. They're explaining their interpretation of the law, but they say it's the law, but it's not because they're wrong. Like just any small amount of actual research will show you. But when they said, have you ever worn a mask? Yeah, I sure have. Immediately, it was like I flipped the switch and they're telling me that they were insulting everything about me. They were insulting my headphones. Look at those little lights on your headphones. Like everything and anything. And again, it isn't that they were insulting me and I was all offended and hurt feelings and going to cry. Like, no, it was the point that they're trying to make an argument and they want me to hear their side. So they asked me a question. Have you ever wore a mask in a building? And I said, well, if I go into a building that says masks required, I put a mask on if I'm going to go in there because it says mask required. And that's why I put it on. And immediately they go off on me. Like, well, wait a minute. I thought you were going to try to make some sort of intellectual argument against me wearing a mask. But instead, they just immediately start attacking me. No argument. I even, because they muted me and I held up a little sign that said facts, question mark, because there weren't any. But I am currently in Florida, and now that it's December, at night it gets really cold. Not really cold for Florida, I guess, because I'm from Wisconsin, Chicago. It's like 20 degrees right now, so 60 isn't cold at all. You'd be walking around in shorts out there, right? But when I first come on in the mornings, it's usually like 60 degrees. So that's why I'm broadcasting from this room now, because it's cooler. But the temperature sometimes goes up fast. And now that the sun's up, in case you haven't noticed, I'm turning red and I'm sweating. So I've been out for over 3 hours, so I'm going to wrap it up anyway. And I'm going to go sit in the air conditioning for a while. I love you guys so much. You make my mornings so much fun and exciting. I love waking up in the morning because I know I get to do this. It's beautiful. I love you guys so much. Thank you once again for joining me. Always a great time. I will definitely be back tomorrow. And until then, when you see this, you know it's time. Hey, G-Boss, I don't remember if I said hello to you earlier. The Elvis gnome, when you see him, you know it's over. Oh, yay, I'm all shook up. Yeah, baby.